We're going to be talking about Kouri Richins again today because Kouri Richins wrote an email to investigators. I think it was like, was it like a couple, I think it was like days after her arrest or maybe like a couple months after her husband was murdered. But there was an email that she wrote that we're going to read about it that explains about her taking exotic vacations. But we're going to talk about Kouri Richins. We're going to talk about, I know it was Father's Day this past weekend, but we're going to talk about this dad who was, well, he, I don't even know how to even talk about it because it's like a pretty rough subject, but he basically has a bail for $20 million, which is huge. And lastly, we're going to talk about Murdoch. Murdoch is never going to go away. I don't know. We're going to keep hearing about him. So Murdoch is the one who went to, well, he got a guilty verdict for the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. And the reason why we're still hearing about Murdoch and his attorneys is because there's all these financial crimes that he's been charged with, and it's a whole mess with him. But there's these new court documents that came out and they grill the heck out of him and his lawyers. And I wanted to read it to you guys because I thought it was really funny. I read through most of it and then I didn't get to the rest of it. So we'll just read the rest of it together. But yeah, I want to talk to you guys. Let's start off with Kouri Richins. If you guys remember who Kouri Richins is, or if you don't, it's okay. Kouri Richins is a children's book author. She wrote a book helping her children process grief because she has 3 very young children. And they had recently lost their father. However, the plot twist is that she is the one who's accused of murdering their dad. And we watched the interview together. We saw her demeanor. And honestly, like, I'm not a body language expert, but it's just kind of interesting to see her sitting there. And, you know, I feel like there was like a lack of emotion coming out from her. She's like, yeah, I wrote the book, you know, wanted my kids to process grief. I don't know. There's no books out there. So we wrote a book together. Yay, whippy. Let's watch a little bit of that interview just to refresh in your guys' memory a little bit, just so you guys can remember how her demeanor was. And I want to talk about how the TV host, because they interviewed her. And, you know, after the interview, they kind of felt like they were duped by her because, you know, they had her on the show. They were talking about her book and stuff like that. And she's basically, you know, if it's true that she did murder her husband, she's basically profiting off of that as well. But this is the interview that I want to watch with you guys. Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? Melissa, Dave, Paul. How are your guys' weekend? Hello, hello. We celebrated, well, I said we celebrated, but like, you know, there was a Father's Day holiday this past weekend in America. And, and today's June 19th. Yeah, Juneteenth, everyone. Hello, hello. Hi, Tam. How are you doing today? Did you guys have a good weekend? We're going to talk about 3 topics today, and I wanted to start with Kouri Richins. And, you know, we listened to her hearing a couple days ago where the state had to offer some evidence, and I would think it was like for her bond hearing. But yeah, it was very interesting. I'm looking forward to watching her trial if they ever televise it. But this is part of her interview, and oh God, I just think it's just so interesting just to see people's demeanor. This is with like ABC4, I think.
And Kouri, I want to start.
Oh, hold on a second. I didn't have my audio. Got the headphones in. I think the audio should be good. I'll probably boost the audio just in case.
Start with your story. What happened in your personal life?
So my husband passed away unexpectedly last year. So it's March 4th was a 1-year anniversary for us. And he was 39. It completely took us all by shock. And we have 3 little boys, 10, 9, and 6. And
so when I was watching this initial, I was just like, yeah, she just seems very like emotional. It's just like, yeah, yeah, my husband passed away, you know, like a year ago. It's like this 1-year anniversary. And yeah, you know, we have 3 little kids. And then, yeah, I wrote a book about I don't know. It's just kind of like, it was just something off about it. But I guess this is me talking retrospectively, right?
You know, my kids and I kind of wrote this book on the different emotions and grieving processes that we've experienced last year, and you know, hoping that it can kind of help other kids, you know.
I mean, also to be fair, it could just be that, like, you know, maybe she's really nervous. She's on TV. Maybe she's not used to having an audience, or maybe, you know, she processed this grief really differently. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know, sometimes people can come across differently than like you expect people to be crying and stuff all the time, but like, you know, maybe some people don't. But
deal with this and kind of, you know, find happiness.
We got to listen to some of the evidence and stuff. I don't know. It's looking pretty tough for her and the internet search histories and all that.
Some way or another.
And to make sense and process, I'm sure. And I'm sure you felt that going through.
And remember, her kids are super young. Oh God, they're super, super young. I just can't imagine being the kids, like having to process the death of their dad, writing a book with mom about it, and then later on finding out that your mom is being charged with the murder of your dad. Like, that is just some psychological welfare, like, mess up. Like, I just feel so bad for her kids. But that's her in their interview. I think this was, I don't know how long ago this interview was, but this all happened within, let's see, she was arrested like beginning of this year. So this all happened probably like a year and a half ago, where her husband passed away. And her husband passed away not of natural causes. So when they decided to do a like autopsy report on him, they found out that he had a large amount of fentanyl in his system. And that's actually what prompted this whole police investigation. And they were able to get Kouri Richins' phone, emails and stuff like that, and find out that she was actually talking to a local drug dealer and getting fentanyl from the drug dealer. And so they think that she may have laced his Moscow Mule in fentanyl. Now, what they think may have prompted, well, I mean, it's obviously a long list of things that probably started all this. Like, there's probably a lot of issues going on with the marriage, maybe, or maybe a lot of like resentment that Kouri Richins had towards her husband. We're not really sure about the ins and outs about that, but there's been a lot of accusations thrown around. But apparently there was this house that Kouri Richins wanted to buy and wanted to flip. It was like a $2 million huge mansion, by the way. Oh, hold on a second. Let me show you guys. I actually did look it up, because this place is huge. It's like a $2 million ginormous mansion. Looks huge. I don't know what you would fill inside this mansion. That's a lot of furniture. I don't know. Furniture's expensive. I hate furniture shopping, but it's huge. So apparently she wanted to buy this for $2 million. She wanted to spend about a couple million on it, I guess, to flip the house. And her husband was like, no, like, I don't want to do that. And apparently they were fighting about it. But here's the thing that I thought was a little bit bizarre, interesting, weird, was that after her husband died, he died around maybe in the AM, like 2, 3, 4 a.m., something like that. Paramedics were called. And the day after, she signed the closing documents, apparently, for the house that the husband wanted no part in. And then she invited people over and they celebrated. And apparently some of the guests didn't know at the time that her husband had passed away. Maybe some did, maybe some didn't. But like, apparently there was like an article that I read that said like some of the guests didn't even know what had happened. And they went there to celebrate, like, yay, woohoo, you closed on this house deal, yay. But yeah, it just looks really, I don't know what she was thinking, because that just looks really fishy. I don't know, maybe Kouri Richins doesn't watch true crime or things like that, but like, it just seems really fishy. I don't know why you would do that, because obviously it's going to come out like, apparently husband's like really well known in the area. He teaches like his kids, I think like it was a baseball or something like that. The husband has a lot of money. I don't know. I just don't know why you would close the thing on the house and then like just invite people over and celebrate. And then like what, people are going to hear that your husband passed away like literally a couple hours before that. Like, I don't know. That's just it's just really odd. Tam's great weekend. Had your son's grad on Friday. Yay. Congratulations to your sons. Or to your son. We went out for dinner and just chilled all weekend. We celebrated, relaxed. It was really nice and fun. How was your weekend, Corgi? It was good. It was chill. I did a lot of housework stuff, yard work stuff. I have this avocado tree that's been shedding like crazy. I don't know what is wrong with this avocado tree, but it's been shedding like crazy. I don't know if it's just shedding season for avocado trees before they grow out new leaves and start producing the fruits or something like that. But it's driving me nuts, because every time when I clean up the leaves, more just keeps coming down, and it's a giant tree. So I was doing that. And then my dogs have been they've been sick for, I don't know, they've been having diarrhea for a couple days now. So we, took their poop sample off, dropped it off at the vet. They're on this like diet now where they're just eating boiled chicken and rice. They're not very happy about it. I tried fasting them as well. And what else do we do? I don't know. I watched a couple of movies as well. I watched a Kate Blanchett movie with, it was called Tar. That was pretty interesting. I watched, hold on, what else did I watch? Oh, I watched The Idol last night. I don't know. I feel like, you know what? I had high hopes for The Idol, even though the first episode was kind of like, it was kind of like for me, because I don't know, it was like but I liked it because I thought Lily Rose Depp was like really good in it. The Weeknd I just thought was very, very creepy, not really into it. But I don't know, I feel like as more episodes come out, I'm just like, it just gets worse and worse and worse. I don't know, yesterday's episode was kind of like, I don't know, it's just ugh. I just feel so like, every time I watch that, I just feel like ew. I just feel so ill about it. And I don't know, it's just like The Weeknd's character, I guess. Someone died in that house. People think it's cursed. Wait, I thought this is a newly built home. No, I don't think so the home that Eric and Kouri Richins shared is not this house. I think it's a different house. This is just a property that she wanted to buy and she wanted to flip. Unless you're telling me that someone else died on this property and they like rebuilt it or something. I don't know, that may be a thing. You had a great weekend, lots of good food. You hung out with family, hung out with friends. Nice. Same here. It's the best of times to chill with the family. I'm so happy to hear that. Poor puppies. I hope they get well soon. Yeah, I can't figure out. Hi, Trina. How are you doing today? I can't freaking figure out what happened to them. I thought maybe their food was not good, but here's what we do. We cook their food in batches and then we separate it and freeze it, right? And so half the other batch, they were fine. And then we thought maybe like, cause they had vaccine shots, right? They had like a Lyme vaccine shot. They also had what was the other one? Oh, it's the allergy shot. But the vet says that like usually with the allergy shots, they'll have a reaction within like 20 minutes. So I don't know. They've just been getting diarrhea. And I was like, man, did they get into something? The only thing I can think of would be like maybe if Shiro ate cat poop and maybe there's a parasite in it. And then Shiro shares a water bowl with Steve and maybe that's how he got sick. I'm not quite sure if it works that way, but I don't know. That's the only thing I'm thinking of because I don't know what's going on with them. But yeah, they're on a very bland diet right now. And I have a vet appointment set up for tomorrow if it doesn't get any better. So we're just waiting for some solid poops. Something in the yard. That's what I'm thinking. But, usually we're pretty strict with like the dogs and stuff that we keep an eye on them. But there was this one day where I was potting and like doing some gardening stuff and Shiro may have gotten some cat poop or something. But yeah, other than that, I'm not really quite sure. Hi, Molly. How are you doing today? Did someone they really died in this property? Did they like rebuild the entire house? Had a good weekend playing with your 5-week-old puppy? You have a puppy? What kind of puppy is it? What's your puppy's name? Yeah, I hope the puppies get well soon as well. I don't know. I mean, they're not diarrhea in the house anymore, but Shiro's learned how to tell us when he needs to go. Usually when Shiro needs to go, he just kind of goes and he's like, I'm like, okay, cool. You do what you got to do. But he actually was whining a little bit and making noises. And I was like, oh, good boy, Shiro, good boy. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. I didn't really have an eventful weekend. Wait, no, I did. Hold on a second. No, I went to a pizza party. I forgot about that. I went to a friend's birthday party. It was a pizza party. And you guys know I'm lactose intolerant. And they had the vegan pizza there. And it was pretty good. Had that. They had a Tekken tournament, which is like a little fighting game. I got my ass whooped. I didn't know we were doing a Tekken tournament at his birthday party. So I didn't practice. Otherwise, I would have freaking practiced. But yeah, I got my butt whooped and I didn't even make it at all. I got my butt whooped in the first rounds. But yeah, we did that. And then I'm trying to think what other movies did I watch. I watched like a lot of movies this past weekend. I watched Tar. I watched this movie called The Strays on Netflix. You guys should watch it. I don't know. If you guys have if anyone here has mom issues, The Stray, it might be a little bit triggering for some of you guys, but yeah. Oh, you're gonna see Blink 182 tonight. Aren't they in LA or something? I feel like someone went to go see Blink 182. Aren't they like around here? Or are they doing like a little tour? Her name is Lola. She's a Chihuahua and a mini pin. Oh, also we rescued some dogs. There was a dog that was lingering in my neighborhood. And, my neighbors sometimes have dogs that just kind of walks around without a leash. So I thought it was one of the neighbors' dogs just chilling, right? But this dog was like coming here. He was like hanging out with my dogs. And then he like left. And I was like, okay, bye, have fun. And then when we pulled up later that night, we put up the car and I was like making some noises. Like, oh yeah, I'm just curious to see if the dog is still around. I don't think so, Ro. I don't think so though. But I was making some noise like, oh, or something like that. And then like all of a sudden the dog came out of nowhere and I was like, oh my God, the dog is still here. Maybe he is like either stray or someone lost him. But the dog had no collar. So it was this little tiny brown dog running around and a little white dog that I thought one of my neighbors took it. But yeah, we looked up on Facebook and some guy was missing like both of his dogs. So we found someone's dogs, and we had them with us for a little bit and the owners came and picked them up. Yeah, it was very interesting. Put collars on your dogs, okay? Especially if they're outdoor dogs and they might escape and stuff like that, just put leashes, like little collars on them, just so in case something does happen, you can we can figure out whose it is. But yeah, good thing they had like little Facebook posts and that's how we were able to find it. But the dog was really picky though, because this was when I was like, oh my God, the dog must be like really hungry and stuff like that. So I tried giving it like regular food, like just like rice and like a little bit of pumpkin. Yo, this dog is so picky. He was like, no, I'm not eating that. And I was like, man, this guy must eat really well or something like that. You've been hit with COVID. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Paul. Oh, Listen, I haven't had COVID yet, and I don't want COVID. Okay, it sounds like a pain in the ass. I don't want to lose my sense of taste, my smell. Dude, when I had the vaccine, I told you guys that like my lymph nodes swelled. It like swelled up into a golf ball, and I couldn't sleep properly, so I had to like T-pose one of my arms. Oh, they're in San Diego. Okay, they must be doing like a California tour or something like that. Nice. Lori, I'm so jealous. I will love a little sweetheart like that. You must love her so much. Yeah, puppies are so cute. It's just that like puppies are like kind of like babies, you know. Probably like babies are like tier 10 like difficulty. Probably puppies are like tier 2. Dude, puppies, they don't sleep. They just want to play. They whine, and yeah, I swear to God though, if I ever get a dog sometimes in the future, I'm definitely gonna do it the right way. Before I was doing it my mom's way, where it's like you kind of just let the dogs do whatever you want, and you just deal with it later. So definitely going to do the crate training. Crate training, start early by taking the dogs out to pee outside. No pee pads whatsoever. And yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a whole different thing. We have stray dog issues in our neighborhood. Some offender dogs are always escaping. Yeah, we have stray cats issue. I sent in a request for a permit to trap the cats and to get them like spayed, neutered, and then microchipped, and then just bring them back in and just drop them off just so they don't multiply, because they starting to multiply. They're starting to be little cats everywhere. And, you know, I don't know. There's just a lot of them. I don't know how they're eating. They're probably getting eaten by coyotes or something. I don't know. Hi, how are you doing today? I've been watching your video all day. Waited 5 minutes before I could comment on your live video. Hello, Joshua. I don't know if I spelled your name. I probably pronounced it wrong. Can I just call you Shing, I guess? I could pronounce that. Hi, Eddie. How are you doing today? We have stray dogs. Oh, I read that already. Lucky that a great horned owl didn't have that dog for dinner. A great horned owl? Where are those great horned owls at? Do owls eat? I don't think they eat dogs unless it's like little tiny little chihuahuas, maybe. Your COVID anniversary is coming up. It was terrible. Oh, dude. Yeah, listen. I don't want no damn COVID, okay? But I tried to get COVID when Dennis got sick. I was like, you know what? I might as well just get COVID with him too. Let's just fucking do it, whatever. And so I did everything I can to get close to him, sharing the same utensils and stuff, sleeping close to him. I ended up not getting COVID, but it was probably way too late. He probably wasn't infectious anymore because he traveled from like Texas or some shit. Hold on. I scrolled somewhere earlier and I can't say. Oh, Daniela, my dog died recently. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How old is your doggo? Oh, I think like the saddest thing, I never have to do this, but I think one of the saddest things ever is having to put your dog down. I feel like that's so sad because like, you know exactly when they're going to go. And it's like, oh, I don't know. When people have to put their dogs down. We had to put down 2 of our Labradors down, but I was never there when I was a kid. But oh God, I'm like these dogs, their owners. Freedom. Give me that freedom. I'm one of the lucky ones who didn't contract the virus. Listen, I mean, I may have gotten it and maybe I'm just one of those lucky people who are, you know, don't show any symptoms. That'll be great. I like both cats and dogs. Yeah, cats are so adorable. I've been listening while I play some. Oh, Mario Sunshine. Yes, have you playing in the background. Thank you. Thank you. Whole family got COVID. Both of my kids had literally no symptoms. I was so jealous. I hope your kids took care of you, okay? I hope the kids, you know, I hope they did their chores. They made you some food. I hope they took care of you. You went back to close your live window. Oh, the volcano. Dude, is this still erupting? I saw footage of it erupting live and then it kind of just chilled out. Is it like erupting all over again? Oh no, I think you guys came suddenly. No, she was in for leg surgery and the organs failed. Oh, that's the saddest, you know, when it's like you're not expecting it. And oh, that's so sad. Yeah, Steve almost died actually when he was 5 years old. He had this really bad pancreatitis. Yeah, it was so crazy. We had switched him over from Buffalo Wild Blue to Origin. And I guess like I didn't do a good job at like slowly introducing Origin to him because you're supposed to do like a tiny bit at a time before they get new food. But I don't know, like something happened and it triggered like a whole like pancreatitis meltdown thing. And he literally like he almost died, man. Like he probably should have been dead, but we kept throwing money at just to make sure he stayed alive. But yeah, we always tell Steve, hey Steve, we doubled your life, okay? Be grateful to us. I'm so glad I found you. I love watching your videos. Oh, thanks, KJ Hart. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. They would eat a small little chihuahua for dinner a little late, so I wouldn't know what dog is you were talking about. No, one was really tiny. One was a little tiny brown dog. It looked like a chihuahua, but he had a giant pee-pee. But he was so cute. And then there was like a little white dog. I had no idea what the white dog was, but it looked like a little scruffy white dog. But yeah, the owners came and they were so happy. They were like, oh my God, you guys made our day. You know, you guys found our dogs. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, man, you guys are so fucking lucky that for some reason, both of the dogs were just hanging out in my neighborhood, because I think the white dog was kind of attached to the brown dog. And so the white dog would like hang around it wherever the brown dog went. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I lost both of my dogs, Steve and Cheryl, they don't like each other. They're just gonna split ways. Okay, they're gonna do their own thing. You can't get over the Lexi Trevino case. Yeah, we'll have to wait for more details to come out on that one. But I actually watched did you guys watch the hospital surveillance camera footage? It's pretty yikes. Because you can see her demeanor when she leaves the bathroom after giving birth and the whole ordeal happened. You can see her leaving the bathroom, and it was just kind of weird, because I know she had to put like a front to make it seem like nothing happened, but like to see that, it was just really, really weird. Yeah, and then seeing the staff's response, seeing how disturbed everyone was and how like sad and they're all crying and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it was just really hard to watch. But what really stuck to me was just seeing her walk out of the bathroom and act like, just another day, just went to the bathroom really quick, washed my hands, that's about it. I don't know. It was just really weird to watch that. But we'll definitely have to wait more. I don't know. It's a tough one too. But sorry, I'm glad that I got to catch up with you guys. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I lost my trail of thought. I don't know where we were with the Kouri Richins stuff. We were talking about the ginormous house right here. So she wanted to buy it for $2 million. She wanted to flip it. The husband was like, nah, I don't want to flip this. Like, no. And then they got an argument over it, supposedly. And apparently, I don't know. I think Kouri Richins, I think she had said that the reason why they were celebrating and drinking Moscow mules is because they were closing in this house. Maybe that's what she told people. But apparently the husband didn't want anything to do with it. But yeah, she's currently being accused of spiking her husband's Moscow mule with fentanyl. Now, I do want to we're going to read the email that she wrote to investigators. I definitely want to read that with you guys, but I do want to read this part really quick. At one point in court on Monday, as the state highlighted a text message she allegedly sent to her best friend about performing CPR, Kouri Richins noticeably raised a tissue to her eyes. Oh, I do remember this part. Okay. The text message said, I pumped so damn hard, screaming at him to come back to life. Prosecutors said, however, that the evidence indicates EMS was the first to perform CPR, not the defendant. The defendant informed dispatch and the police that she had performed CPR on Eric Richins while awaiting EMS response. Foam coming from Eric Richins' mouth, however, indicates that the EMS personnel were in fact the first to perform CPR on him. The evidence shows the defendant did not perform CPR on her husband. Now, is it because if there's foam on the husband's mouth that if Kouri Richins would have performed CPR, would she have like wiped it away? Or if they did mouth-to-mouth contact, some of that foam would have like dissipated or something like that? Is that what they're trying to say? I don't remember them going into it, but I thought that was interesting as well. And I do want to remind you guys, during this same exact hearing, this is where they exposed her search results. And I don't know what is up with these people, especially like this has been after her husband had passed away. I know it was like months later, and they confiscated her phone, but she got another phone and she thought that they wouldn't have a hold of this phone, I guess. I mean, I don't know why would you be searching stuff like this, but this is what she was searching. Luxury prisons, luxury prisons for the rich in America. Women, Utah prison. Can cops force you to do a lie detector test? Death certificate says pending. Will life insurance still pay? So just to bring this up really quick, she wanted that life insurance money on her husband, it seems. However, she didn't know that her husband had changed a lot of the documents so that she, the wife, wouldn't get the money. It would go to the sister and the sister would take care of it and probably definitely go to the kids, right? She also looked up FBI analysis of electronics and investigation. When does the FBI get involved in a case? How long does it take for life insurance companies taken to pay? How to permanently delete information from your iPhone remotely? What is a lethal dose of fentanyl? Period. Listen, not as bad as Letitia Stout. If you guys remember Letitia Stout, she was asked, she wanted to know whether or not, I don't know, what prompted this? Oh, lie detector test. Okay. Letitia Stout tried to hire a company to provide these like fake ass lie detector results. And the questions that she asked gave the company, well, it gave them red flags. And they're like, hey, you know, like we don't want to be involved in like the criminal activity shit. Like, we're not giving you the results. Sorry, bye. And the questions that she asked was like, well, like, did I ever hurt my stepson? I forgot what the other ones were, but it was very fishy stuff that she was searching about Gann and her stepson. That she was asking questions about Gann and her stepson and stuff like that. But yeah, the company was like, nope, this is a red flag. We're not gonna give you the results. Sorry, bye. And she was like trying to call them and ask them for a refund, trying to get her money back. But anyways, these criminals are very interesting. So going back with Kouri Richins, so we watched the interview that she did. We talked about her hearing. I want to read about the email that she wrote to one of the investigators. And so the reason why this email is public right now is because, well, Eric Richins, his family, they got a lawyer too. So they got a lawyer as well. And the lawyer leaked this email, and I'm here because I'm nosy. I want to read about it, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Okay. Okay. Rib bruising. I did hear about that as well. That like if you were to do, sometimes when you do CPR, sometimes you get bruising, or sometimes even your ribs may even crack as well. I didn't know when the footage was released. When the cops went to arrest Alexi, the mom acted all surprised. It was odd. I know Ray kept asking what the arrest was for. Isn't this the second case where the defendant searched for a luxury prison? What was the other case? It seems she's like messed up. Good. The mom had since January doing research. You know, the many charges can come across offenses. She's really like, very ignorant. Lexi can get child abuse and neglect charges. The lie detecting cheating company was like, nah, we good. Yep. Hi, Amy. How are you doing today? How's it going? Hello. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it yet, we could watch a little bit of it maybe at the end of the stream. I wasn't planning to, but I don't know. There's just something about that footage. It was just like very, it just gives you, I don't know, the goosebumps or something. I don't know. It's just like seeing her leave the bathroom after giving birth. And then, you know, I think she did admit to discarding the baby into the trash can because she said she didn't know what to do, right? But I don't know. It's just so weird to see that. Yeah, I don't know. Letitia was looking. Oh, Letitia. Yeah, no, hold on a second. Letitia wanted, she wanted to go to like a better, it was not like a luxury prison, but she wanted to go to a prison that was like a little bit, maybe the environment was a little bit better. Maybe they worked on like rehabilitating, it was like for mental illness and stuff like that. And I know she wants kosher food too. Hi, 4 billion. How are you doing today? Yeah, you saw the footage. She seems very nonchalant. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I wish, I hope we find out more about her and her family, because it really does make me wonder. You know, I don't want to blame the family, because sometimes it could just be the person, right? It could just be the person. And maybe, you know, it's not really the mom's fault or anything like that. But I don't know. I'm just very interested in her like background story in her life and stuff like that, because I'm just wondering what can, unless she's really dumb, but like what can make her want to do that? I don't know. I think that's what kind of got a lot of people kind of like really interested in the Trevino case, is because they're just like, how could she have done that? That's crazy. But anyways, this is the email that Kouri Richins wrote to, I think it was the investigator, re-clarifications. So this was written April 19, 2023. Wait a second. This is actually pretty recent. This was like 2 months ago. Interesting. So this is like after she was arrested, I think. Because I think she was arrested like a little bit before this. Okay, so this is Kouri Richins. Hey there. I thought I would clarify some other items during the list that you spoke to, redacted, about. The beginning of February last year, my kids had a soccer tournament in Mesquite. The day before we left, February 2nd, 2022, I tested positive for COVID. I've attached the picture of my test on my counter from my kitchen when I first found out. Photo number 1. I had sent it to my mom and redacted to let them know, because I was just around both of them. Eric was the coach of the soccer team, and I'm the annoying mom on the sideline that never stops yelling, emoji. We don't miss games or tournaments. We're a huge soccer family. When we found out I had COVID, I didn't want to miss a soccer tournament, nor did I want my kids to get sick. So I stayed at Casablanca. I didn't want to risk getting my boys ill during the tournament and then not play well. I brought a box of at-home tests with me. So I wonder why she's clarifying this, because she's saying that she stayed at Casablanca, whatever that is. But this is probably when Eric was still around. So I want to know why she's explaining this. Do you think they're accusing her of maybe her and Eric were starting to drift apart to the point where she wasn't even living in the same house anymore, or she like left the house for a little bit, wasn't staying with him. I wonder why she's explaining this part. She writes, I didn't want to risk getting my boys ill during the tournament, then not play well. I brought a box of at-home tests with me every day to test, so I could either join the boys staying at my father-in-law's or at least be with them during the game. Casablanca is about 5 minutes away from the soccer field. Actually, here's a picture of the room number I stayed in. I had taken a picture for my mom and Eric. I was still positive every day. Pictures attached. I just want to know why she's going through such lengths to explain this Casablanca thing. Are they saying that like, hey, you stayed at Casablanca because y'all were fighting and, you know, you probably stepped out of the house for a couple of days? Is that why she's explaining this? I would take pictures of my test to Eric to still say positive. You can check Eric's phone for this. I stood on the sidelines wearing a mask and not interacting with anyone. Happy to get other soccer parents to attest to this. Eric had gotten COVID after we got home from Mesquite. What do you guys think? Using COVID an excuse? Hello, Chopper. How are you doing today? Oh, she probably had a dealer meet her there. This is going to bite her in the trial. I want to hear from the other cheerleaders and the boyfriend as well. Her only question to the judge before sentencing was to request a good prison. Yep. Letitia. Oh, man. Okay. You asked Redacted about any exotic vacations I have taken since Eric's passing. I went on 2 trips last year. One, my kids tried out at a soccer camp in SLC to qualify to play in Spain. Her kids are really young too, right? Damn, what kids be playing in Spain in June? And both my kids made it. So yes, I took them to Spain in October 2022. Okay, I mean, if she can prove this, seems like nothing out of the ordinary, I guess. I've attached their invitation letters. Also, Eric and I went to Mexico every year, sometimes twice. We traveled a lot. We have taken the boys to Mexico a few times. We like to go in January. However, January of 2022, we could not go because Eric had this hunting trip to Mexico of 2 weeks. Hold on a second. I do want to see, when was she arrested? Let's see. This is the arrest. Was she arrested in May? Oh, so she was arrested. Oh, you know what? She was arrested a couple weeks after this. Oh man, she must have knew they were starting to come at her and she wanted to clear things up, but now they arrested her anyways. Okay. Yeah, so I mixed it up. She was arrested, it seems like after she wrote this email, I think. Okay. So you're talking about, we have taken the boys to Mexico a few times. We'd like to go in January. However, January 2022, we could not go because Eric had this hunting trip to Mexico trip of 2 weeks planned, and it was too much that month. This is not new for us to go to Mexico or for us to go out of the country or on vacation with our kids. I took my kids and my mom came with us in August of 2022 to Mexico. As I hope you understand, the months prior to this, since Eric's death, has been hard to deal with. Okay? No, I have never been to Key West or the Keys in Florida. Interesting. Why? However, my nanny went with her family in June of 2022. Ooh, can't wait to hear the nanny if she ever testifies in June of 2022. So maybe you have something mixed up. Eric's affair was the same year I moved out. So, oh, you know what? We should watch this. But Eric Richins' family, they hired an attorney, and the attorney said that this is untrue. The fact that Eric had an affair, but I guess we'll see about that. Eric's affair was the same year I moved out. The trust was created as well as him looking into a divorce. I never actually moved out. I moved my clothes out one weekend to make Eric understand I'm not kidding about leaving him if he doesn't end things with redacted. Okay. I did this on a Thursday or Friday while he was out of town. I mean, honestly, if she's saying that he is having an affair with redacted, the investigators, they can probably interview redacted and figure out if that's true or not, right? I did this on Thursday or Friday while he was out of town. I was home Monday. I never stayed another night at the other house. Eric and I figured things out like most couples do. Redacted was her name. He changed her name in his phone so I wouldn't know about it. And honestly, we worked things out after that. I never went through his phone again to see if he changed it back. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if they have Eric's phone, honestly, they're going to be able to go through Eric's phone logs. They're going to go through his text messages. And, you know, we'll find out if he was really having an affair or not, or if she's just making all this up. But you have his phone and can check. I mean, she sounds really confident here. What are you guys thinking? They played in Spain, mailing the rain on the plane. Lol. Nice little poem there. Hi, Ghosty. How are you doing today? Thanks for popping in. Hello. Oh, the book lady. Yep, the book lady's horrible too. Probably used Sunkist soda to make a positive COVID test. No way. No way. I have to look that up. No way. Her timeline clearly was a major issue for the detectives. Oh, and she knew it. Totally, if it takes an essay to explain the timeline details that no one is asking about, guilty. I do want to know, what were they questioning her about? It seems like the detectives were questioning her nanny, something about vacations, exotic vacations, and she was like explaining herself. But yeah, I don't know. God, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait for the trial. Amy said he had no affair. LOL, she's deflecting. That's what the lawyer said. The lawyer said that he did not have an affair. That is actually not true. But she sounds confident here. You have his phone and can check, so we'll see. Eric and I went to redacted counseling in commas 801 redacted. We only went about 4 times. Maybe it wasn't for us. Redacted and redacted are the same person, as I'm assuming you know that. Haha, I'm also assuming redacted told Woody her husband got a call from him and gave all this information. Lol, yet he didn't. What? She talked. This is so weird. I feel like, come on now, you're like writing an email to the detective. You got these like little emojis in here. You're acting like this is like a goddamn chat room. She typing in lol. LOL. Like where'd the LOL go? Does she not know how to like write a normal email without having to add all those like internet memes in there? Jesus. Okay. I don't know. If the detectives were on my ass, I wouldn't be writing LOL. I'd be writing some better crafted emails probably. I don't know. I'll get a fucking lawyer. Woof. Okay. What was okay. LOL, yet he didn't even go talk to the detectives. Ironic how these things work. Mental health. Yes, I got postpartum after my second child in 2014. Yes, I took medication for it. No, Eric and I did not have financial problems ever. Yes. Apparently though, the lawyer said that Kouri Richins definitely had some financial issues. Apparently she had like a lot of debt and something, and she had like a lot of like hard money loans. That's what the lawyer said. Yes, Eric made more money than excuse me. Yes, Eric made more money than me. Do you make more money than your wives? Question mark. Why would she even throw this in? I get it. She's pissed that the detectives are looking into her, but do you really want to piss them off even more? Have I ever been financially reliant on Eric in the 5 years? Absolutely not. Eric did not want me working because 1, his first wife cheated on him with a guy at work. I wonder if that's true. 2, lots of redactions here. 3, Eric wanted us to live the typical conservative life where the man takes care of his family and the wife is a homemaker, wife, mom, and that's it. That's not my personality and not the way I was raised. I am very independent. Even when I stayed home with the kids the first few years, I was in grad school for years because I wanted to be more and do more than be a homemaker. And I did. And when I did and started my business, it took some adjusting, but Eric and I were fine with it. We hired my nanny and everything worked out. My nanny, redacted, phone number, redacted, moved out because she was engaged and she and her fiance were moving in together. That was always supposed to be temporary. She worked full-time for Eric and I for years prior to his death. Yeah, very interested to hear the nanny's testimony. If anyone can tell you about our marriage, it's her. She's lived with us. Feel free to call her. I know, she just sounds so confident in this email. I heard about that too. I heard that she was a clerk at Home Depot when they met, which makes sense because he does a lot of oh God, what kind of company is he own again? Like a masonry or something like that. So maybe he made a lot of errands to Home Depot to buy stuff, and maybe that's how they met, right? Redacted has already submitted her phone calls to you to prove that the toll is incorrect. Redacted will also be submitting hers over to you guys today or tomorrow. I am working on getting mine. However, Eric's business partner is not being cooperative, but you can call Redacted and ask for them, and he would probably give it to you. Redacted phone number. I know what time I went to bed. I know what time I went to bed that night. There is no hole in my story. Hoping by obtaining 4 phone record documentation, you guys can see this too. Listen. Apparently, according to the arrest affidavit, they said initially Kouri was like, not initially, I think she's still maintaining this, but she said that, like, you know what? Like, I didn't have my phone with me the entire time. You know, my kid something was up. I went over to my kid and hung out with him for a little bit and came back. Eric was dead, right? She said she didn't have her phone with her the entire time. But in the arrest affidavit, they were able to find out that her phone had unlocked multiple times. There was motion in her phone, like her walking around the house, stuff like that. And she deleted some stuff as well. So I don't know. Maybe she thought she can outsmart the technology people, and she was like, I got this. I've watched Law and Order, CSI. I got this. I just deleted. Easy. But yeah, anyways, she just sounds very confident in this email. Happy to clarify or provide anything else you may need. I just want this to be over. Of course you want this to be over. I just want our lives back and to move on and grieve and mourn my husband without looking over my shoulder constantly for you guys or the idiotic private investigator or the Richins family. Whatever I can do to help close this out, just ask and I'll give you or tell you whatever you want to know! Exclamation mark. Please check with the lab on those gummies. P.S. Chad, I hear you also know our good friends, Redacted. Their sons and my son play on the same soccer team. When Eric passed, Redacted took over coaching. You guys can even chat with them if you feel necessary. Kouri Richins. Now, investigator replies back, thanks for the clarification, Kouri. I don't know that it matters either, but I appreciate the communication. So I love how she wrote all of this. And then investigator just hits her up with a 1 or 2 liner. All right. So, let's see. Where are we at? Kouri Richins replies, hey, after you guys left Friday, I was trying to make sure dates were as accurate as possible, but I always feel like something was last year and it was actually several years ago. Crying emoji. Anyway, you asked me when my doctor had prescribed quetiapine. How do you pronounce this? Quetiapine? Quetiapine pine. I have no idea how to pronounce this. I believe I told you a few years before Eric passed. Wait, what? Oh, I had prescribed quetiapine a few years before Eric passed. However, I emailed my doctor today to get a specific date, and this was her response. I don't even know if it matters for anything, but it was bothering me. Crying emoji. Also, Eric's company was started in 2010, now 2012. I think I may have added 2012. That's when we got married. LOL. Again, none of this probably matters, but it was bothering me. Oh, is this oh god, this is the email from the doctor, I guess. Hi, I looked back in your chart and the medications for 8/21/18. Kouri Richins, Conrad Cruz Real Estate Services, Aspire Home and Design. Quetiapine. Oh, quetiapine. Okay, that sounds way better. I was definitely. Anyways, that's Kouri Richins. Oh, you know what? But we gotta watch this interview really quick though. Kouri Richins. I think it was on it was on Court TV. Court TV. We gotta watch this. Oh man, the lawyer. I mean, the lawyer is definitely against her. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
The case we're talking.
Okay, they got the lawyer to come on. I'm gonna get the transcripts up, so we just go right to it. So again, this is the lawyer for Eric Richins' family. Oh no. Yes. Okay, here we go. Let's see, what timestamp are we at? 7. Email. Vinny was like, she rambling. Here it is. Okay.
And trying to sort of put some of the blame on Eric, even though almost nothing she said there was true. There was no affair. There was no relationship. The problems with their...
But here's the thing. In the email, she sounded so confident. Yeah, you can check the phone, okay? It'll all be in there.
Marriage were her. And for her to say she hadn't had financial problems is just absurd. She was upside down with her credit cards. Eesh. She was stretched out far with hard money lenders. She was in serious trouble. And Eric, as
well, okay. I guess here's the thing: people who do the house flipping stuff, sometimes they do borrow from the hard money lenders because I think the interest. Wait, what is it again? You can get like multiple loans from them, and then you just have to make sure you pay back within a certain time period. So that's why when flippers get the houses, they try to flip the house like as soon as possible. They don't want to like it sitting in the market because like the interest rate on that is like crazy apparently.
we've learned was worth far, far more to her dead than divorced, according to their prenuptial agreement.
So I want to go through a little bit of what we just experienced there from her email and do just a little bit of fact checking on it all. First, Eric's affair was the same year I moved out. The trust was created as well as him looking into a divorce. From your perspective, the family's perspective, is that
relationship to end the way it did? We have some information that she may have been involved with someone else, but I don't want to get into
Oh, hold on a second. It's like the timing's all off for this.
relationship to end the way it did. There was nothing that he did that would have caused this relationship to end the way it did. We have some information that she may have been involved with someone else, but I don't want to get into that.
Listen, if she was involved with someone else, that's going to be airing out in trial probably.
At all. But that statement, Vinny, is simply untrue.
Oh, we've got another one here. The financial problems. No, Eric and I did not have financial problems ever. Yes, Eric made more than Eric.
You know, when these two met, Vinny, she was a clerk at a Home Depot, which is an admirable job. There's no question about it. He was a successful businessman with his stone and masonry business.
Oh, stone and masonry. That was what I was looking for.
And he made exponentially more money than her.
No. Note to self, do not pick up a wife from Home Depot. Check power tools, check lumber, ex-wife. Shut up. Listen, every time I go to Home Depot, I feel like their sales associates are always like the nicest. They're always super chill, always super nice. I don't know. They just chill, you know? They just chill. Sometimes you might meet a psycho, and you know, it's not always at a Home Depot. It could be anywhere. Do you think he had an affair? I doubt it. I don't know. I don't have enough information.
He was a ticket for her to have money that she'd never had before. He helped her get into real estate. He helped her get licensed. She was looking at trying to flip homes. She was trying to.
Damn. So like in Kouri Richins' email, again, she's basically saying that like everything I did it myself. I put myself through grad school. I did this, I did that. And the reason why, you know, I'm making money is because I put myself through all of that. But this lawyer is like, nah. Eric Richins set it all up for her. Okay. The reason why she's a real estate agent is because of Eric Richins. The reason why she got money to invest, Eric Richins. I bet you if she ever hears this interview, she would be livid. Okay. Livid.
He was a ticket for her to have money that she'd never had before. He helped her get into real estate. He helped her get licensed. She was looking at trying to flip homes. She was trying to make money with his money.
Listen, I'm just here for the jabs, okay? He said with his money.
She was terrible at it by all accounts. She got in trouble with a lot of her debt, a lot of her finances. But you know, to say that she didn't rely on him financially is simply untrue. She had a great job, but she wasn't making anything like she did after she married Eric.
I mean, again, you know, I'm still this lawyer is hilarious. I'm still taking it with a grain of salt, though, you know, because he's here to like attack Kouri Richins, but he's like, she was horrible at it. It wasn't even her money. She even became a real estate agent because of herself. Her husband helped her.
And after she was able to profit from the 7 figures that he had in life insurance.
Let's get to another one here. This is about the hole in the story. I know what time I went to bed that night. There is no hole in my story. Hopefully by a before time period here.
Phone records were really interesting. We heard about that at the hearing that was held on Monday. This was a detention hearing where the government had to put on some evidence about the sufficiency of their case. And they had tracked her phone. They had shown where she had been while he was literally gasping for his last breaths, and she was wandering around the house.
Listen, it confuses me too. I don't know why people be lying about things that are easily verifiable. You know, it's like documented. But there are just some people that will lie and deny till they die, even when you shove evidence in their face, you know? But you know what? If they don't want to accept it, I don't care. If the jury accepts it, who cares? You know, I don't care if they don't accept it. Like, as long as the jury accepts it and then we move on from there, it's fine, you know? They want to be delusional and they want to think that, like, oh, you know, these are just my lies or my truths. I don't know. Oh, fuck them. Whatever. It's like Letitia, right? Letitia, you know, let her believe her lies. Although I'm pretty sure she don't, but maybe she does.
Told police that she went and, you know, tried to perform CPR on him. Of course, the medical examiner said nobody performed CPR on him. She said that she went in his bedroom to check on him. Her phone records showed that she was walking around in different parts of the house, not checking on him, not in the bedroom, not doing anything that would have been sort of to make sure he was okay. I think, if anything, she was trying to make sure that her fentanyl cocktail was doing its job.
I do want to point this out too, because I completely forgot about this. Remember how we found out from the hearing that she had tried to buy fentanyl twice, actually. So she bought it the first time, and a couple weeks after that, she bought it a second time. And remember how I was asking you guys? I was like, oh, I wonder if she tried to poison the husband the first time and it didn't work, or maybe she just bought it the first time and then like she just wanted to establish a relationship with the drug dealer and see if she can get her hands on fentanyl. But I actually forgot that I completely forgot about this. But I read in the arrest affidavit that apparently, so the first time she contacted the drug dealer, she got about like $900 worth of pills. 3 days later, on Valentine's Day, okay, February 14, 2022, Eric and defendant had a Valentine's Day dinner at their Kama's house. Shortly after dinner, Eric became very ill. Eric believed that he had been poisoned. Eric told a friend that he thought his wife was trying to poison him. I hope we have a text message or some sort of proof about that, because that is just a crazy thing to just believe. If I was sick, I would be like, you know what? I ate some shitty things. I have food poisoning. But 2 weeks after that, after Valentine's Day, the defendant, Kouri Richins, contacted the drug dealer again, asking for another $900 worth of fentanyl pills. And that's when she got the fentanyl pills. 6 days later, March 14th, Eric was found dead of a fentanyl overdose. So that kind of answers my question. It's possible that she did try to poison him on Valentine's Day. It didn't work. And she's like, you know what? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Round 2. Possibly, right? Did it not work? Was it not fentanyl? Maybe she didn't give him enough. Maybe, instead of because I think the reason why the second time he was found with, oh man, what did it say? 5 times the lethal dosage of fentanyl in his system. That's what the medical examiner found. So maybe the first time she gave him maybe not enough. And then she's like, you know what? Second time, I'm going to make sure it works. It's possible, maybe she was like, you know what? I'm just going to make sure that it works. And I'm going to give him a fuck ton. That way I can make sure that he doesn't live. So I don't know. That's what we're getting at from these, from the arrest affidavit. Way overkill. Yeah. So even if you were like a fentanyl user, which there's been no proof that Eric is. I think the only thing that they've said that was Eric does take gummies that has THC in it to go to sleep or something like that. But other than that, he doesn't do hardcore drugs. No friends, no family have attested that. Although it is possible that they don't know about it if he was. But in this case, I feel like there needs to be someone out there that says hey, by the way, me and Eric, we do hard drugs together or something like that. But it would just be really weird for someone who doesn't partake in hard drugs to all of a sudden out of nowhere take 5 times the lethal dosage. It just really doesn't make sense.
One more here. At the end, she wrote, please check with the lab on those gummies.
This is her trying to boss around the detective, trying to gain some control. Oh, God, people like this, so annoying.
And I guess she's trying to infer that Eric was some sort of a drug addict or was using illicit drugs.
Which is also completely untrue, Vinny. I mean, he used THC gummies, as some people do, to help him sleep. He never had a problem with opioids.
And also going from THC gummies to fentanyl, that is a wild jump. Okay.
I mean, this guy was active in his kids.
I know sometimes people say marijuana is a gateway drug, but it doesn't go from THC to fucking fentanyl like that. Okay.
Soccer coaching.
That's
he was active
wild.
in the community. He was an avid hunter. He was an avid outdoorsman. He took very, very good care of himself. And what happened, of course, he died of a fentanyl overdose. And at the time, and even today, as you know, a lot of people have opioids are a huge problem in our country. And I suppose that it would be easy for police to walk into somebody's house dying from a fentanyl overdose and sort of just assume, well, here's another person who's abused drugs and sort of bypass it. And I think that's what was being banked on here.
I don't know why she wouldn't think that. That's so crazy. Does anyone believe her story? Huh? Some people might. Hi, Jeannie. How are you doing today? How's it going? Hello, hello. How do we know she killed him? Because he was trying to leave? well, we don't know yet, right? People just have their theories, but they believe that she did it because, well, there's a lot of like circumstantial stuff that happened, like her trying to change the life insurance policy. She made like a bunch of life insurance policies, where she was the beneficiary of, apparently. And then also there was one where she tried to, the husband found out that she had changed one of them and made her the beneficiary. And so he changed it back to the sister. And she didn't know that. She found out after he died. And she was apparently really pissed at the family. She said that like she had made him a Moscow Mule the night that he passed away. And so when the investigators, when they took his body in and the medical examiner did the report, they found out that he had like 4 times the lethal amount of fentanyl poisoning. They were like, whoa, what the fuck? Like that's crazy. And so they thought something was a little bit fishy. They were able to get her phone records. They were able to get her emails and all that stuff. And they found out that she was coordinating with a drug dealer to get fentanyl from. And that's the reason why they believe that she did it. They believe that she coordinated with the drug dealer, got fentanyl, laced the Moscow Mule with fentanyl so she can get the monetary benefits from his passing. So she'll get the life insurance policy. She'll probably get his money. And, the money's going to go take care of his kids as well. But yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of like iffy things going on in their relationship. And for some reason, apparently he was telling friends and family that he thought that she had tried to poison him in the past. But yeah.
But Eric had no prior history involving opioids whatsoever, no prior history involving illegal drugs whatsoever. And again, it was just another smokescreen to try to get people away.
Okay, so that's it with Kouri Richins. I think we caught up with Kouri Richins. So we'll wait to hear more about Kouri Richins. If you guys missed it earlier, we read an email that Kouri Richins wrote to detectives. I don't know. I always like reading these emails, whether it's Sarah Boone emails or Sarah Boone letters to the judge, to her lawyers. Kouri Richins' email to this, Letitia, the stuff that she writes to her, for the polygraph test results. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to see these emails and how these people write sometimes. But that's Kouri Richins right there. We'll definitely keep an eye on the Kouri Richins stuff. It's going to be very messy. I don't know. I feel really bad for her kids because someone in chat told me that the kids right now, I think they're not really sure who's going to take custody over the kids, right? Let's say that Kouri Richins does, she ends up being guilty of this crime. It's like, who's going to take over the kids? Is it going to be her side of the family or Eric's side of the family? And apparently, I think both families, they're fighting over the kids right now. I don't know. I just feel really bad for the kids. This is just so traumatizing. Traumatizing because your family is just completely broken. Not only did you lose your dad, you might potentially lose your mom. If you do lose your mom, she goes to jail. You find out that she was the one that murdered your dad. That's some mindfuckery right there. And not only that, but you have two sides of the family that probably hate each other. Her side of the family probably hates his family, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But it's just a very uncomfortable situation for kids, especially when you have family members that are fighting over you. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for the kids. They use THC. I've never used anything harder. Would use THC, CBD for pain rather than taking a lot of pills. She's a monster. Mine is a monster can. Poor children. Hope the kids stay together. Please do full research, though. You got a couple things notably wrong. Like what, Beck? Yeah, let me know. Let me know what I got wrong. I'd be happy to talk about it. Unless you mentioned earlier. His business partner found out that he changed the will. It was a business deal, and the partner changed that back. Okay. We should blame Adam was murdered by his wife who wanted the money. Isn't that what I said? I said that he found out that it was changed and he changed it back. Isn't that kind of the same thing? Business partner told him, he changed it, he found out, and then changed it back. I think that's like kind of the same thing. Hi, Patty. How are you doing today? How's it going? The kids are very wealthy now, and the whole country knows it. It has a lot of risk for them. You mean like people going after them? I hope not. They're like super young. 3 little boys. I'll watch the replay when I'm at work. My doctor suggested I take THC instead of pharma for sleep. Really? Honestly, I used to have sleep issues, but for me, you just have to treat sleep like a chore, I guess. You have to be really consistent with it. So I used to have sleep issues where at night I would try to fall asleep, but I couldn't. And I would just watch TV, try to fall asleep, and I would do other things, and I just couldn't fall asleep. But I don't know. You have to treat your bed like a sleeping area. You have sleep on it, you have sex on it, that's about it. Don't lay in bed, don't be, watching TV and stuff like that. And then also you have to be really routine about it. So if you have bizarre sleep schedules where you're sometimes you're staying up late because you're reading, staying up late because you're playing video games, stuff like that. Try to have a schedule where you sleep at the same time every day and then you wake up around the same time every day. But yeah, blue light is bad for sleep. I would just, and then, they say like try to stay away from like phones and screens and all that before you go to sleep. But for me, it's like really hard to do that because I'm either on my computer, I'm usually on my phone, or I'm like doing something. But for me, what's really helped is to have a consistent sleep schedule and don't fuck with it. I know it's really tempting. Sometimes you want to drink, stay out late at night and fuck your sleep and stuff like that. But if you have like really sensitive sleep schedule like I do, I try to be as consistent as possible and really stick to it. And that's why like when I do, like if I ever travel, I feel like I don't really get jet lagged because I force myself to like have a like a certain schedule to follow when I'm sleeping and stuff. But yeah, you listen to ASMR. I used to try to listen to ASMR. It's distracting, but yeah. Sleep habits are literally the opposite. Everything you said, it shows. Weekends were my problem. I would stay up late. Now bedtime, same every day. Yeah. Because, I used to thought that like I had bad sleep and I just kind of just like, I have bad sleep issues and I'm just going to have it for the rest of my life. But you really got to work on fixing it. But there could be other things too that are keeping you up late at night that you might have to address. But for me, it was like, I definitely just, and then what really helped was I read this book about unwanted intrusive thoughts because I sometimes get them and they kind of annoy the fuck out of me and I'll kind of like marinate on it and think about it for a little bit. I read this book about it and honestly, I didn't think the book was that great, but I didn't realize it actually helped me a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I get a lot of thoughts and I'm just like, what the fuck am I thinking about? But yeah, that helped me too. YouTube is just a sleep problem. And then also like I have a routine where I'll listen to like video game lore. So right now I'm listening to like Diablo lore. Sometimes I'll listen to like Lord of the Rings, like storybook or Elden Ring, Dark Souls lore. I don't know, I just listen to lore. And then like every day I'll listen to the same thing over and over again. And then like I'll usually just like knock out after 5 minutes. So yeah, have a sleep schedule. That's why I stopped. I stopped reading books. I stopped reading books at night because I remember when I used to read these like fairy tale romance novels at night, dude, that used to keep me up till like 2 a.m. Yeah, I don't know. If you know there's something juicy that's going to keep you up, don't read it, don't watch it, whatever. Do whatever's like mind relaxing, mind numbing for you so you'll fall asleep. And then I also watched, do you guys know Dr. Huberman? He did a podcast on sleep. It was like episode 2 or something. That was kind of interesting to learn the science behind it. I don't know, check it out too. Maybe it'll help you. But I don't do the whole like sun exposure with my eyes, like, 2 hours after sunrise and sunset and stuff like that. I don't do that. But I don't know, it might help you. So definitely look it up. Look up bedtime meditation story. YouTube astrophysics channels are great for falling asleep. That sounds fun. I would definitely be down for that. I used to watch like dinosaur videos too. Dinosaur videos or Kurzgesagt. I don't really watch Kurzgesagt anymore though because I need the video to be longer than 12 minutes. Otherwise, when it's like 5 minutes in, I get really antsy that the video is going to end soon and I'm going to have to like wake up and change the video. But yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm going to use the bathroom really quick, guys. Get up, stretch. And I guess it'll be a good time to play an ad. See, I don't know if ads are kind of like on Twitch where it runs every hour or what, but I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, so like on Twitch, we try to play ads when it's break time. That way you guys don't get ads when I'm like talking and stuff, but I don't really know how YouTube does it, so I don't know. It might be the same way Switch. Sleep well now? I battle the bladder, the back pain, the nightmare. I used to get sleep paralysis pretty often. It was pretty wild, to the point where I got used to getting sleep paralysis, and I was like, you know what? When I got sleep paralysis, I just stopped panicking. I was like, oh, whatever. This is sleep paralysis. It'll pass. But yeah, I don't know. Sleep paralysis kind of sucks though. Oh, and another thing that helped me too, Amy, watching your water intake before you go to bed. I try not to drink like a crap ton of water, maybe like an hour before I fall asleep. Because getting up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom is kind of annoying. Yeah, I've been able to just have nights where I just sleep through the entire night without getting up. And oh, it's so great. Really? I've gotten a couple ad breaks already in this live stream when you're in mid-sentence. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know how they run their ads. Like on Twitch, we can make it so it's manual, and then we just have to run the minimum amount of ads on there. That way it would be like on our time. And if you don't, then they start running the automatic ads. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how they do it on the YouTube live streams. But at least, you know what? On YouTube, you can skip ads though, right? On Twitch, if you get an ad, you might get like a 3-minute ad or a 2-minute ad, and you have to watch the whole thing. I think on YouTube, an ad pops up, and after like, 3 seconds, you can skip it, right? Yeah, I don't know how people watch YouTube without YouTube Premium. I have to watch, I can't do the ads on YouTube. I know they're skippable, but it's just so like, I don't know. It's annoying to have to like hit the skip ad button. So YouTube Premium is definitely worth it. Although I think people used to treat YouTube Premium as like Netflix, where it's like you get one account and then like family members all jump on it or something like that. I don't know if you're allowed to do that anymore. I think maybe they're like cracking down on that too. I'm not sure. I remember I had someone had that too. Do you remember anything else happening other than the physical? What was your mental, emotional state? Was that? Well, the sleep paralysis thing, sometimes it just happens when I'm really, 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 really tired. So I try to make sure that I get good sleep. And yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes it's usually when I'm really tired. I used to get it back in the day when I used to do drugs. That's why I don't really do drugs anymore, because sleep paralysis, like this one time when I was like doing drugs for like 2 days, right? And it really fucked my sleep up. I was coming back from Coachella. And I really thought I was going crazy. It was really weird. I thought I was being haunted by a fucking ghost. And I literally went like batshit insane for like a day or two. To the point where I was so scared to go to sleep because I thought I was going to see demons or something. I don't know. Fucking, that's why I don't do drugs anymore. Because anything that messes up with your sleep, especially for me, it could really fuck me up. But yeah. YouTube has been throwing me a 3-hour Netflix ad lately. I mean, you can skip after 5 seconds. 3-hour ad? Jeez. Listen, I'm YouTube Premium, okay? I don't know what you're talking about. YouTube Premium. I don't know. I mean, maybe you can share. I think in YouTube Premium, you can share within your same household, though. So I don't know if you got like a roommate or something. Maybe you guys all pitch in for YouTube Premium. I think it's only like, is it like $12.99 a month or something like that? I feel like it's worth it. Ad blocker. Aren't they making it so ad blocker doesn't really work anymore? I feel like a lot of websites are starting to crack down on the whole ad blocker thing. Coachella? No, Coke wouldn't do that to me. It was like 2 days of just doing like Molly. Yeah, I don't know. Coke is a gross drug. I don't know. We had this whole like Coke thing for like a couple of months, but it's just gross. I don't know. It's so gross. It's nasty. You get the drip back and like, oh, don't recommend. It's just a nasty drug. I don't know why people glamorize it so much. I don't know. You added your kids that are out of your house? It's just by email from now, anyhow. Nice. Why? The Jody one messed up your head. So I was always like suspicious of my chick before. What? Listen, if anything, Jody Arias may have gotten a lot of people to not want to have doggy doors anymore, okay? Because you never know what's going to come through that doggy door. You never know. All right, guys. So our next thing that we're talking about, so before we get to the Murdoch stuff, because we are going to get to the Murdoch stuff, and I want to read you guys this court document because they just destroy Murdoch and his lawyers. But before we get to there, I know it was just Father's Day, but I do want to talk about this because this popped up in my feed, and it's really, I don't know, it's just really sad. It's one of those things that like you see the thumbnail, you see the title, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you click on it and you watch it and you're just like, I don't know. You're just kind of like, how did this happen? Why? But did you guys see the new Law and Crime body cam footage? See if we can pop that up really quick. So there's this body cam that popped up, and we're gonna watch the court hearing as well. I don't know if I should start with the court hearing, the body cam. Maybe we'll start with the court hearing. Let's start with the court hearing, and then this is gonna be a really short segment, by the way, guys. I'm not gonna be sitting on this for like 50 minutes or anything, but I just want to share this with you guys really quick because it's crazy.
State of Art versus Chad Dorman, 2023 CRA 1975.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna boost the audio. I think the audio is kind of low. You know, I was actually thinking, I was like, because I usually don't remember that it's Father's Day, but I did remember that it was Father's Day this year. And I was like, should I text my dad Happy Father's Day? And I was like, well, what's the point? Because it's not like he was really in our lives, you know? Like, me and my dad, we're fine. We're cool now. But I don't know. It's like, is there really a point in texting Father's Day, Happy Father's Day to like, you know, a parent that wasn't in your life, or like Happy Mother's Day and stuff like that? It's like, I don't know. There wasn't really a father to me. So I don't know. I didn't text my dad, but I'll text him happy birthday next month. It's like in a couple of weeks. Let me do the sound boost. Where's my Chrome extension? All right, boosting the audio on this.
This matter is before the court today for purposes of bond hearing. Mr. Callum, you were here on behalf of Mr. Dorman, Mr. DeCalvi, Mr. Gass on behalf of the state of Ohio. Mr. Callum has the bond. Go ahead, sir.
Listen, the reason why I wanted to watch this courtroom video hearing was because I just wanted to see his demeanor, to see if he looked like he felt, I don't know, emotional, remorseful. I don't know, just curiosity, I guess. But he's fairly, in my opinion, young. I think like early 30s. Oh, right here, 32 years old. And do you think he did it out of spite for his wife? You know how you hear some stories where the wife is going to leave the husband. Maybe the husband decides to go batshit crazy and was like, you know what? I'm just going to, I mean, not just husband too. Wives be doing this too. Because we heard about, there's this other case that I heard about this woman who threw her children over a bridge. One of them survived, but it was because that her husband was about to leave her and she wanted to just get back at him. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. This is just pretty much just curiosity for me. I'm just wondering why. Want to know how his demeanor is. Does he regret it? Like, what the fuck?
Bond, Your Honor, he is 32 years old. He lives in Richmond, married, is employed. He indicates that his relatives, Gloria Dorman, Todd Frost, and Keith Dorman, may act as co-signers.
Sorry, the audio is really low. I think this, I don't know. I could boost it up even more, but I don't know if it might get really loud at some point.
At this time, Your Honor, we would submit to the court that a bond of $75,000 with order conditions would be appropriate.
Wait, so his defense team is asking for a bond of $75,000? Listen, you see the title right there. He gets $20 million. $20 million. I think this is the highest that's ever been set ever in this state, maybe county, but I think it was in the state.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeCalvi.
Judge Mark DeCalvi, Claremont County Prosecutor on behalf of the state.
Yeah, prosecutor's gonna be like, hell no, 75,000 bail. Yeah, right. Do you know what he did?
At this point, I'm going to let Mr. Gast handle the bond on our behalf. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Judge, we've got law enforcement with us here today. Our office has been involved. Lots of people in our office have been involved with law enforcement throughout yesterday afternoon and evening, all the way through this morning. And the facts I have for you at this point are as follows. The trauma that this man has inflicted on his family, the community, law enforcement, first responders, and all of the rest of us who have any idea what's going on here is unspeakable. There's been a full admission in this case, Judge. The case is still new. We're still discovering facts. But the evil horror of what we know is impossible to process.
So this is the state right now who's speaking. And I think what the state is going to mention, I think by this time he had already killed 2 of his younger sons. I think the mom, at least you know, in desperation, really try to protect the last one. And I think the last one was able to run, but he chased after him, brought him back, and shot him. I think it said in here. I don't know, maybe unless I heard wrong, but I was listening to this on my iPod.
In an act of just incomprehensible cruelty, the father that stands before you lined up his 3 young boys, and he executed them in his own home with a rifle. They were
I think it says, I think he said rifle.
ages 3, 4, and 7, Judge. In an act of desperation to save her children, the mother at some point grabbed the gun that father was wielding to attempt to protect them. We know that one of the boys was able to flee.
Yeah, see, oh my God. I don't know. It's just so sad. I really do wonder if he did it because he was fighting with the mother. And at that point, he cared more about hurting her than caring about his own fucking kids, which is. I don't know.
Into a field near the home. And again, we know from his admission, father hunted that boy down, drug him back to the property,
Drove him back,
and executed him in front of witnesses. The mother was shot through the hand in her attempt to protect her children. Judge, I asked the court in setting this bond to just begin to imagine their fear. This was the man that every day they woke up looking to for protection, love, guidance in all things. The man they trust more than any other person on earth. The person they rely upon to keep them safe from harm. He was their world, he was their guardian, and he executed them in cold blood. We know that from his admission.
Yeah, so he's admitted
By
that.
that same admission, Judge, he has committed one of the most monstrous, craven, cowardly acts that will ever be our misfortune to see. To make things even more disturbing, Judge, this was no haphazard act. Again, by his own admission, he planned the events of this day. This did not happen on a whim.
Yeah, see, when I first heard about this, I was like, maybe he was arguing the mom. She's about to leave him. He was trying to do like an all or nothing type of thing, or maybe like one of those like suicide things where it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna kill everyone and then I'll kill myself at the end. And I thought maybe it happened on a whim. Maybe he didn't actually plan it, but the gun was right there, and he was like, you know, I'm just gonna do it real quick right now. But I mean, if he fucking planned it and all that stuff, like that's like a whole different level. Ugh. Why are you crying? You did this.
He's confessed to what I believe is the worst crime, at least I hope, that I'll see in my lifetime.
Yeah, I don't know what the cameraman is doing.
The worst fact pattern that ever comes.
Can we zoom out a bit?
Judge, it's important for the court to know in the bond where.
I mean, he could just be pretending too. We don't know, right? He could just be pretending. He might not even be remorseful at all. He might just be crying right here just so the judge doesn't give him a high-ass bond.
Request today for the court to understand Claremont County deputies, Monroe Township Fire and EMS, and other first responders bravely respond to the scene where they don't know what's going on. They did not know what they're facing, and they come into a scene that no one can ever be prepared for. No law enforcement training, no training of any kind prepares you for this. It's easy to forget that these are men and women with families, children, feelings, emotions. They're not some automaton performing a delegated function. They're people. They were required to give CPR to gunshot children. 3, 4, and 7-year-old children. They held these boys in their arms, knowing there was nothing they could do to save them. How long do those scars last? What day do you wake up from that and you're healed. How do you unsee such an abomination? Bond factors this court needs to consider today are set forth in Criminal Rule 46, nature and circumstance of the crime charged, and specifically whether the defendant used or had access to a weapon, including the seriousness of the offense. It's the most serious offense that we have on the books, Judge. This is it. You can't commit a more serious offense. So the nature of the crime charged is the worst crime that can be charged. Did he have access to a weapon? Yes, obviously he did. The weight of the evidence against the defendant at this point, Judge, we stand here with a full admission of the defendant. That also goes to the confirmation of the defendant's identity, and witnesses on scene did see at least part of what happened.
Wait, so there were more than one witnesses? Maybe the neighbors were there, or maybe some of the law enforcement had showed up, may have seen some of it?
Next, the court is to consider the likelihood this person would return to court if a bond were issued. Again, this is the most heinous crime with the most severe penalty under the law that we presented to the grand jury. That alone would be a major factor in discouraging a person from availing himself to this court or any other. And the thought to flee and the likelihood of flight is great in the state's opinion.
Yeah, he ain't got nothing else to
Danger
lose.
imposed to the community is a factor that this court can consider, and I think with the facts in front of you, Judge, we can't name a person that poses a greater threat to the community. As his prior record goes, Judge, it is fairly minimal. He was charged with domestic violence in 2010. He is not, to my knowledge, on probation community control.
How do you even defend someone like this? I can't imagine being a defense attorney. Yeah, the defense attorney is probably like, fuck.
Judge, the facts of this case are hopefully like no other we will ever see. When this case gets indicted in the Court of Common Pleas, I am certain that a no bond hearing will be held, and I would hope that would be granted. But at this point, this juncture, we're going to ask this court to issue a bond we've never asked for before. I'm going to ask for a bond of $20 million. I hope I never need to request such a bond again.
Oh, Mugg said teenage stepdaughter ran to fire department. Oh. Have we heard of why he did this yet? Any reason?
Thank you. Date for preliminary hearing?
The date for the preliminary hearing, Judge, is 6/26.
That's in a couple of days. I wonder if that's going to be. I mean, since they videoed this, they'll probably video that too, right? I'm definitely going to be listening to it.
No objection, Your Honor.
The preliminary hearing will be set for June 26th at 1 p.m. At this point in time, bond's going to be set in the amount of $20 million cash or surety. Anything else at this time, Mr. Gast?
No, Judge.
Mr. Down.
What did he say?
Gast?
No, Judge.
Mr. Down. Mr. Kalman, anything further?
Nothing at this time.
All right, thank you.
All rise.
Ugh. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but this parts of the body cam footage. It's I don't know if the word is right, but like interesting. Interesting to see his demeanor. I don't know. It's weird, I guess. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It's weird to see his demeanor when the cops show up at the scene. So before the cops show up, he was probably huffing and puffing, thinking it was all big and mighty with a gun, shooting his kids, probably threatening his wife. But then when the cops show up, all of a sudden he's all docile. He's like just sitting there. And he cares about, there's a dog there too, and he cares about the dog. I don't know. It's just so weird. Oh, CCA2 solitary? Is that what it is? Was he asking was he requesting for CCA2? That way he doesn't get fucked up when he's in jail?
Where's he at?
He said, shooter still on the porch.
Get him right here. You got him on the porch.
We've asked, that's the last place we've been told.
You show me your hands now!
I don't think we see him. Sorry, I'm just pouring through a little bit because it's just them kind of like slowly making their way over.
Show us your fucking hands now. Stand up. Stand up.
He ain't even standing up. He's just sitting in his porch right there. And this is when they're coming towards him.
Stand up. Stand up now. Stand up. Stand up.
What is he doing? So I'm going to fix the audio again because it's way too loud now. Is he pretending to be sad now? Like, oh my God, I'm so sad and upset. I'm just going to sit at the porch.
Fuck up.
Yeah, and he's sitting there with a fucking gun right next to him, too.
Get your hands out of here. Tell him we're 21. It's in the air.
Those guys can confirm that there's people that need first aid, and that's the shooter who's not complying. They need to take care of the victims. They have to shoot him and shoot him.
Man, I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm completely sober. Never did drugs.
63, we're 21. Get the EMS over here.
Well, I did drugs when I was little, but I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you.
63.
Get your butt inside. Gatlin, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
29, we got.
I think that's him right there trying to get the dog to go inside. I feel like it's so weird to see how much he cares about the dogs. I'm assuming he doesn't want the dogs to get hurt by the policemen, right? The dogs are barking, maybe acting aggressive. Maybe he's afraid the dogs are gonna get shot by the policemen. But it's just kind of weird that like this is his mindset, his mental after what he just did.
Main.
3 kids down, 16.
63, we're 21. Have EMS respond over here.
You're clear, they're being advised. Robert 34, just started mass custody response. 63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard. What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you.
I don't know. It's mind-boggling. His demeanor is so mind-boggling to me.
I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him. All right. He won't bite you.
See, like this is him worrying about the dog right now.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get you here in a second.
I ain't running away. You can do whatever you want with me.
Here. You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
Yep.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
This is Will. This is Will.
See the body cam footage.
They're all being advised they've requested 2 additional medics. There's also air care flying, but they need an LV, the medic coming. Yes.
Can you get the wallet out of my back pocket?
Shut up, dude.
Yeah, this guy cares about his comfort. He's like, oh, I'm comfortable. Can I stand up? And he probably knows he's about to sit down. He probably doesn't want to be sitting in his wallet in his butt. So he's probably like, oh, can you take the wallet out of my butt, please? It's going to be uncomfortable when I sit down.
Yeah, the right to main silence, fucking user.
Yes, sir.
Take the call, I'm on the last right now.
Like, what a fucking coward, because he was probably acting all big and mighty and shit with his kids, you know, with the wife and stuff like that. But the moment the cops showed up, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna hurt anyone. Oh God, and you know, the dog is not gonna bite you. It's okay. The dog is fine. Like, I don't. Ugh.
Yeah, 90 is where Chief and Captain's away.
Hold on.
The firehouse.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I just, his demeanor was just like chilling. I don't know. Ugh, it was just very chilling. Let me see. I was pulling up the house earlier. Oh, extend my time. Yeah, I found his case, by the way, on the Ohio court stuff. Let me go back. So this him right here, Chad is his name? Chad Dorman. Chad Dorman. I think, is it the same Chad? Yeah, same Chad Dorman. So we do have some history of stuff. 2009, I don't know what criminal damaging is. 2010, underage consumption. 2010, domestic violence. But I don't think that was like, was found guilty or anything. I think that was just like a pending thing. And then for this one right here, 2023, aggravated murder. 3 counts. He's 42. No, he's not 42. He's born in 1991. This guy's like 32. Yeah. He's still really young. His kids are really young. Yeah, we got it right here. First degree felony. 1, 2, 3. 3 charges. I think the only thing that I found was it this? Oh yeah, this is the one where they set his bond to $20 million. Man, his lawyer was like, yeah, do like 75,000. Nope. 20 million. And then, yeah, we'll just wait for the preliminary hearing. That's going to be happening in a couple of days. This is the property. So this is where the cops were parked earlier. Now this is the driveway. Just trying to take a look at it. I get really nosy. Trying to see like the layout and stuff like that. Can I go over here? Yeah, so this house has like a lot of land. You got like this whole yard over here. You got the driveway. That's the house right there. Oh, is that like the fire department over here? What the? Wait, what? Can you guys see this? What the heck is that? Is that a car that's flipped over on its side? What is going on over there? Okay, well, there's a car over here just chilling, flipped over on the side. Maybe, or maybe a church. Oh yeah, let's. I'm not sure. I'll get closer. I don't know. It looks like a school. This looks like a school board right here. Maybe someone got into like a, I don't know, drunk driving accident or something. That is a car on its side. What the heck is it doing over there? No, it looks like a fire department. Cemetery here. Oh, yeah, the fire department. Wow, they were literally that close. Yeah, this must have been the fire department that the stepdaughter ran over to. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. Sad. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Seeing his demeanor in court, seeing his demeanor at his arrest, some spooky stuff. I've heard of Robert Maudsley. You don't feel sorry for them? Robert Maudsley? Never heard of that person before. All right. Well, I'm going to keep it out of the preliminary hearing. Oh, I forgot about this. Can we go back to Kouri Richins really quick? Kouri Richins. So Kouri Richins did an interview on TV about the book that she had wrote. to help her kids process with grief. And she went on an interview. We watched the video earlier, but I want to talk about how the news anchors felt after they found out that she had been charged with allegedly murdering her husband. I just want to read this article really quick because I thought it was interesting. The two news anchors who interviewed Kouri Richins, the Utah mom accused of killing her husband, said they felt duped and sickened that she spoke to them about the new children's book after her alleged crimes. Dina and Saray, host of Good Things Utah, interviewed Richins, 33, in March about a children's book, Are You With Me? That she penned after the fatal poisoning of her husband, Eric Richins, 39, a year before. I definitely felt like we were duped in a sense, Chen told Fox News about Richins plugging her book, which is described on Amazon as a must-read. Is her book still on Amazon, by the way? As a must-read for any children who's experienced of pain of loss, and for parents who want to provide their children with emotional support they need to heal and grow. The host said Richins appeared cold during the interview after she sent the show executive producers an email containing her and her fucking emojis, man. Sending an email containing a heart emoji in her request for the sit down. Oh, Lord. Sitting down with her, we both felt she was a little bit cold. She wasn't super emotional. But again, we're trying to show our guests in the best light. We're trying to be on their side, Manzanares told the outlet. They said Richins described Eric's death as sudden, but didn't address the cause on air. Chin recalled wondering at the time how the author was able to take care of your kids, write a book too, grieve with your kids, then come on a show to promote the book that you also wrote. When asked by Manzanares after the interview what she thought happened to her husband, Kouri said she believed it was COVID related and that Eric had a lung issue, according to Fox News. The host at the show received an anonymous message the following morning stating, "You know she killed her husband!" ! They thought the email was bizarre and alarming, but didn't pay too much attention to it because they often get crazy emails. Yep. But the missive proved prophetic when Richins was charged in May. I'm sickened now that, okay, she sat on our couch, she talked about grieving, we showed so much compassion and empathy for what seemingly looked like a mourning widow. She also suggested that Richins may have already known she was being eyed as a suspect when she requested the interview because authorities had already searched her home and questioned her several times. Why would she go on TV? Why would she do this interview? Jesus. Oh, it's your family right there. 3 little boys. That's what I think is scary. And that's what makes me question what it is that she's dealing with, whether it's mental illness, it's a personality disorder. I have no idea. But what makes somebody behave in that way and then put on whatever facade she had to put on to appear as the quote unquote grieving mother, it's truly mind blowing. Richins wrote the tear jerker after she allegedly poisoned her husband when fentanyl laced Moscow Mule. It completely took us by shock. We have 3 little boys, 10, 9, and 6, and my kids and I kind of wrote this book on the different emotions and grieving processes that we've experienced in the last year, she said on the show. Eric suspected that she had been carrying a extramarital affair, family attorney Greg Skordas had said. He told the Post that despite Eric's alarming suspicions, he stayed with his wife to spare the kids from growing up in a broken home. Yeah, I don't know. We'll wait for more stuff with her. Sorry, I just had to go back to Kouri really quick because I forgot I was going to read this article with you guys. So, how are you guys doing today? Letitia. Letitia went on an interview too. Letitia. Did she go on an interview? Do I remember an interview with her? I don't know if I remember watching an interview with her. Yeah, Kouri Richins is Utah. Kouri Richins is Utah. The dad that we just watched, that's from Ohio. She was asking the kids about how they feel because she had no real emotions of her own. Back to the camera, in sunglasses. I don't remember an interview with Letitia. She really did an interview? Shatter G. Oh yeah, isn't it like 2 a.m. over there? How late do you usually stay up? Adam's great. Let me enjoy my bachelor life. After work, had some free time to spam on YouTube. In her driveway? Did she? Did I not watch it? She was on the news. What's wrong with Utah? Is it air? Listen, I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy cases in California, Arizona. You know, they all over. All right, they all over the place. Harley jumped in on it. Oh yeah, I don't think I've seen that interview before yet. Hold on a second. What could I type in the search terms to find it? I kind of want to watch it really quick. I was gonna do the Murdoch stuff. We'll do that. Letitia Stout TV interview. Is that what I type in? Is that right? I don't see it. I have the investigators interview. Oh, wait, is this it? Posted by Ikid Mel. Letitia Stout, full insane lies caught on tape. Wait, is this it? Hold on a second.
I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
Letitia Stout, full interview. Insane lies caught on tape. Wait, we don't even see her face. What kind of... Sorry, my dogs are... Whoa! One of my dogs just busted in. That's so funny. Hello? Get out of here. Take your little donut. Take your little donut, sir. You got a little donut for you. Donut. Funny. He's always busted into my room to get his damn donut, and then he just fucking dips out. He's like, bye, got my toy. No, he can't have treats right now because they got the poops, they got the diarrhea. So I feel really bad because they haven't been getting no greenies, they haven't been getting their treats. They haven't been eating as much or on a diet. They're not happy right now. They ain't happy. All right, Letitia. Yeah. I have a question though. What kind of interview is this? Why do an interview where we can only see the interviewer? Why can't we? Who recorded this? Why is it not facing her? Did she agree to be on camera, but then like not really on camera? Wait, hold on. Is that Chris Watts? Wait, why is Chris Watts here? Oh no. Are we comparing Chris Watts' lies? Jesus. Okay. I'm really sad that we don't see her face. I want to see the facial expression. All right, guys. Let me pull up. Okay, so before I go, I really want to read these court docs with you guys because they're kind of funny. Pull it up really quick. Alex Murdoch just gets destroyed by the Satterfield attorneys, Bland and Richter. Hold on, I'm just pulling it up for you guys really quick. Man, it feels like we're going to be hearing about Murdoch for a long ass time. I don't know, man. This dude up in here, he playing tricks, man. I don't know. Maybe he's just so bored in prison that he's like, you know what? Let me just see how long I could just entertain myself with this BS for. I don't know, man. Hold on, I'm trying to capture it really quick. Oh, this one. And do I got the chat up? If I do, got the chat up. Oh, any updates on the Petito laundry stuff? Did we get any updates on that? The judge was supposed to make a decision on something. Are they still thinking on it? I feel like we haven't heard about it. You were over him hardcore. Listen, I can't help myself, okay? I can't help myself. When I see court documents and it's just lawyers grilling the shit out of each other, I think it's really interesting. It's just very interesting to read it. Like when I used to read Ben Chu's stuff, I thought it was really funny. And so now we have the spicy Satterfield lawyers, okay? What do I start with this? Oh man, let me just do a quick little, yes? You back in here? You're not even in here to hang out. You're just in here to take your toys. Steve is back. Maybe you want to hang out. Do you want to hang out? I gotta close the door though, sir. Hi. He's got his little, oh, you can't see him. He's too short. He's like 1 foot tall. You can't see him. 1 foot tall, Steve. Gotta read court docs. Mark Tinsley. Yeah, Mark Tinsley is also really spicy as well. I don't mind listening. He's a liar. His whole life, he's been getting away with everything. I'm sure he still thinks he can. Dude, I can't. He must have realized at this point that he's just royally screwed. Royally screwed. I heard that he was writing letters to family and friends back home, trying to convince them that the verdict is wrong. He didn't actually commit the murders. I'm like, he's probably trying to see who's still on his side and see if he can try to get some money out of them. Because, you know, apparently the court denied, Murdoch wanted to withdraw more from his 401k to pay for his lawyer fees. And the court denied it because that 401k money is probably going to go out to his victims. But yeah, they denied it. And I don't know how long he's going to have Harpootlian and Jim Griffin for, you know, because they look like expensive attorneys. I don't know. They might drop him. They might be like, okay, well, you know what? Good luck with the public defender. Peace out. See ya. Bye-bye. Y'all, you ain't got no money to pay me. Dear Buster. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't know. Buster probably just wants out of this. He doesn't want to be a part of this at all. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so Alex Murdaugh. Where do I even start with Alex Murdaugh? Alex Murdaugh had a trial. How long has it been since Alex Murdaugh trial? Six months now? Has it been that long? Maybe more than that. I think it was the beginning of this year, right? 2022. So Alex Murdaugh, South Carolina disgraced attorney. And that's usually how we hear Alex Murdaugh nowadays. But he was attorney, well-known family in South Carolina. You know, he had a generation of family that were lawyers. And, well, he was found guilty for the murder of his wife, Maggie, and the murder of his son, Paul. And you know what? There was a Snapchat video that showed that he was there at the time of the murder when he said that he wasn't there. But I'm not really getting into that case too much. But yeah, he was found guilty of that. But on top of that, it's not just being guilty of murder. It's also all these financial crimes that he's being charged with. I think he's being charged with over 90 financial crimes. Like this is wild. He was scamming his clients. He was scamming everyone. And then he had this whole roadside shooting where he tried to fake assassinate himself, hiring his cousin Eddie, who was potentially also his drug dealer. Like this whole story was a whole mess. But before Alex Murdaugh went to his murder trial, he went to a bond hearing. I think it was a bond reduction hearing. And it seemed like, you know, he wanted to have everything cleaned up. So he put in like a judgment of, what's it called? Something of confession, where he basically confessed to the financial crimes. And, you know, he was telling the Satterfields, like, hey, you know, like I scammed you guys. I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. And now that the trial's over, he's like, you know what? I want to have that judgment of confession. Fuck, I don't know if that's what it's called. I want to have the confession thing thrown out. I want to have it thrown out. And, you know, he said that, like, I want to have it thrown out. And also because, you know, the dogs didn't really trip the housekeeper. It was actually something that I made up. So his housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, has been working with him and his family for a couple of years. And I think essentially even helped raise one of his sons, Paul, who he murdered. And, well, Gloria Satterfield's been on the property for a long time, helping them out and everything like that. And then one day she has this horrible fall, and Maggie and Paul are there calling 911. And Gloria Satterfield ends up dying a couple weeks later. But Alex Murdaugh swept in and was like, you know what? I actually came to the property after she fell, and she whispered to me only, that the dogs tripped her. Even though when Gloria Satterfield went to the hospital, she just said that she doesn't really remember, but she tripped. She never mentioned any dogs or anything like that. But Alex Murdaugh was very, 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 you know, he was trying to convince everyone that it was the dogs that did it because he wanted to collect a life insurance policy. Was it a life insurance? No, not a life insurance policy. He has like a policy for, what is the policy? What am I thinking of? Accidents or something like that, where essentially in South Carolina, there's a policy that he took out where it's like a liability policy or something like that. Yeah, it's like an insurance, but there's a term that I'm looking for and I can't pull it up out of my head right now. It's Monday today, okay? Accidental injury, something like that. But essentially in South Carolina, there's a strict liability if your pet harms another person. And so he essentially wanted to say that, hey, my pet is liable for, you know, the death of Miss Satterfield. And so I want my insurance policy to pay out to the family. And so that's what he tried to do. And there was two policies two insurance companies I was going after for the money. And so he was able to get the money for one of them, I believe. He was fighting the other one to get the money on that one. But essentially, the Satterfield family didn't see a dime. They didn't get anything. What had happened was Alex Murdoch and his friend, I think Kouri Fleming, and maybe some other people that were involved, it seemed like they transferred the money into Alex Murdoch's account, and that's it. The family didn't get any money at all. I don't know. They did a lot of shady stuff where, you know, they kept the money, and yeah. So what's going on right now is that there's this whole court battle between the Satterfield family, Alex Murdoch. Alex Murdoch is saying, like, hey, you know, the insurance company is now coming after me. But, you know, technically, you know, the insurance company shouldn't have paid out the money anyways because I made up the lie. So what you also really need to do is go after the Satterfields as well. But the Satterfields are like, well, we didn't really get any money from you. You're the one who took all the money. And it's just like, it's just a whole mess. Yeah, he ended up, Murdoch ended up pocketing like almost 4 million, I think. It was like 3 million something. But sorry, this is all just from memory right now. I have the document here. I don't know why I'm talking. I'm just going to go over the document. But yeah, guys. All right. Let's talk about the document here. It does get really spicy, but, you know, have this playing in the background. You know, if you guys are doing chores, playing video games or something like that, just listen. Okay. It's really funny. It's your fault. You paid me. I lied to you. Yeah, pretty much something like that. You have a corgi and your name is Corgi-san. Interesting. Is that your real name? Yes. First name Corgi, last name San. Absolutely. He was not Slim when he was Shady, but now he is the real Slim Shady. One of the maid's son was special needs. He needed his mother to care for him. Alex Murdoch does not care. He does not care, okay? When we were watching his murder trial and they talked about all the financial stuff that he was doing, all the family that he screwed over, you know, one of the victims was, I think, like had cancer. Another victim, there was like 2 sisters whose family died in a car crash accident. He doesn't care. You know, he don't care. He just wants that money. That's all he cares about. All right, memorandum of law in opposition to motion for relief under Rule 60B and the motion for sanctions. Memorandum. At its heart, the defendant's motion for relief. Oh, I should wear my glasses. From judgment, pursuant to South Carolina Civil Procedure. Why is it dirty? Rule 60B, the motion asks one simple question. May I have a mulligan? More aptly described through their motion, T. Murdoch, which also includes Murdoch and his counsel, have stumbled late on their judicial first tee with a small bucket of balls with an apparent attempt to fire shots until they finally hit the fairway. I don't play golf, and there's some golf references in here. I'm assuming maybe the judge is really into golf, and that's why they decided to throw it in there. Maybe it'll be favorable towards the judge. I don't know. Mulligan. Mulligan golf. What is it? So the term mulligan in golf, a mulligan is simply a second chance shot when a golfer has hit a poor tee shot that they would rather forget. Okay. I guess it's a do-over then. It's a do-over and a second chance at shot. Okay. That's why they're saying Murdoch and the lawyers, they want a mulligan. No, Harpoolian didn't write this. This is the memorandum asking for the sanctions of Murdoch and his lawyers. This was from Team Satterfield with Richter and Bland as their lawyers. Obviously, Murdoch is not a golfer. Neither are his lawyers. There are no mulligans. Like a spoiled child, the motion is overindulged and undisciplined. Murdoch's argument seems to be, because I commit fraud on the court in the underlying cases, I'm entitled to be relieved of my confession judgment now. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Confession judgment. Sorry. Confession judgment. So I had it right the first time when I was saying it. By this memorandum, the plaintiffs will expose the many whiffs, slices, tops, blocks, chunks, hooks, and duffs. That has to be all golf references, right? That need so needlessly wasted this court's time and have unnecessarily caused a further victimization of the Satterfield family, thus entitling the plaintiffs to sanction against both Murdoch and his legal counsel in order to punish their conduct and deter such similar abuses of the plaintiffs in the legal system going forward. One cannot point to their own fraud as a basis for relief under Rule 60. While Murdoch seeks equity from the court, he has not discharged equity. Therefore, he is foreclosed from the relief he desires. To put the matter bluntly, whose hands could be less clean than Murdoch's? So I'm just skipping all those sightings. Even according to his own motion, Murdoch cites as a basis for seeking equitable relief under Rule 60 that he has lied and misled his insurance in the court. Mr. Murdoch lied about the dogs, undeniably obvious from the record now available, made even more apparent by Mr. Murdoch's lengthy testimony at his recent criminal trial, wherein he admitted an unfortunate years-long pattern of drug-induced theft and dishonesty. I don't know if I believe that part. To paraphrase, Murdoch urges the court he should be believed now because when he says that he lied earlier about how Satterfield was injured, through a twisted application of Murdoch's logic, the point Murdoch seems to make is that if he lied about the dogs, then the insurance company should have never paid him any money that he stole, as a result of which he should be relieved of the confession of judgment he gave the Satterfield boys some years later because there should have never been a Gloria Satterfield wrongful death claim and recovery in the first place. And of course, later in this document, it says that the reason why he did the confession of judgment is because he wanted to essentially, I don't know, probably when he went to his bond reduction hearing, he probably wanted the judge to reduce his bond, but the judge didn't. And he was like, well, I cleared everything with the Satterfield boys. I'm on good terms now. We're good. I'm putting in my confession of judgment. Please, judge, reduce my bond. And the judge was like, nope. It seems like it didn't help him. And so now he's like, well, if it didn't help me, I might just take it back. Take it back. Take it back, please. Okay. He gave the Satterfield boys Murdoch gets to keep the stolen money of something to that effect. And this Murdoch suggests should entitle him to seek equitable relief from the court under Rule 60. The motion suggests that it raises novel issues. It does not. It raises nonsensical issues. If the motion is novel, it is only novel in the sense that it is the byproduct of a disgrace, a former attorney with the time, depravity of mind, and sheer balderdash. What is balderdash? Balderdash. Balderdash. Senseless talk or writing. Nonsense. Balderdash.
Balderdash.
Balderdash?
Balderdash.
Balderdash. Okay. New word, guys. Balderdash. Where are my SAT people at? Sheer balderdash to have conducted it. Moreover, the motion is nothing more than a continuation of the mockery that Murdoch has made of his prior profession and the administration of justice itself. I wonder, is Judge Newman, is he still overseeing the financial stuff? Dude, he must be so sick of Murdoch. Judge Newman, man. The fact that Murdoch's latest abuse of the system and continued victimization. I've heard of balderdash before, but I don't know if I really knew the definition for it. It sounds like a game. Isn't there a game called like Baldur's Gate? The fact that Murdoch's latest abuse of the system and continued victimization of his victims is facilitated by his current counsel, subjects all of them, get them all, to sanction as addressed below. But before digressing, the motion is fatally defective and factually flawed in too many additional particulars to ignore. As to this point, however, the inescapable conclusion is that the Murdoch's admitted fraud does not entitle him to equitable relief. Number 2, slice. Murdoch has to continue to play fast and loose with the courts, which precludes him from the relief he now seeks. The doctrine of judicial estoppel, I'm gonna look that up really quick. I do know what estoppel means because I remember I looked up for Ben Chu. The principle which precludes a person from asserting something contrary to what is implied by a previous action or statement of that person or by a previous pertinent judicial determination. Estoppel is an equitable doctrine, a bar that prevents one from asserting a claim or right that contradicts what one has said or done before. All right, estoppel. Because I remember Ben Chu said that a lot too. Wait, I think it literally defines it right here. Oh, my bad. Stated goal of judicial estoppel is to prevent a party from playing fast and loose with the courts and to protect the essential integrity. As explicitly embraced by our Supreme Court, judicial estoppel precludes a party from adopting a position in conflict with one earlier taken in the same or related litigation. When a party formally asserted a certain version of the facts in litigation, he cannot later change those facts when initial version no longer suits him. Ooh, I like how it says that. When it no longer suits him. The application of judicial estoppel is an equitable concept depending on the facts and circumstances of each individual case. Let's go back to Murdoch. The point is twisted even by Murdoch standards, but in this Rule 60 motion, Murdoch takes an inconsistent position with positions taken in other litigations by lying to this court about having lied about the dogs. What the motion advances is part as the basis for relief. You know what's interesting about this is that we learn that it seems like the insurance company didn't even believe Alex Murdaugh that Gloria Satterfield was tripped by the dogs. But the reason why I think they ended up paying was because they were scared of Alex Murdaugh and his team of lawyers going after them and suing them. So they probably just wanted to settle just to fucking move on. What the motion advances in part of the basis for relief is that Mr. Murdoch lied about his own liability for Ms. Satterfield's death to fraudulently obtain insurance proceeds to perpetuate his severe opioid drug habit. But did he really? Yes, in an interview with an adjuster, it is true that Murdoch explained that Gloria's fall was caused by his dogs, a fact that appears supported by both Paul and Maggie at the time. But Murdoch never advanced his position to the court that approved Nautilus' settlement, and he actually negotiated for a release that stipulated he had no liability. In the petition for approval settlement in the matter of Gloria Satterfield, on or about February 2nd, Gloria Satterfield received injuries after falling down in front of the stairs of Colleton County, South Carolina residence owned by Richard Alexander Murdoch and Margaret Murdoch. Decedent Gloria Satterfield subsequently died. Omitted from the petition was any reference to the dogs. The petition was subsequently approved by the order approving settlement, a copy which is attached. The order found that it appears on February, Gloria Satterfield, Importantly, the order further found it is denied by the parties to be released that the injuries and subsequent deaths suffered by the decedent was a result of any negligence or reckless conduct of any released party. Like the petition, the order contained no finding that the dogs played any role in Gloria's fall or subsequent deaths. The order did, however, authorize Chad Westendorf, a personal representative of the estate of Gloria Satterfield, to execute such documents as would full effect of release in favor of Richard Alex Murdoch. So I believe Chad Westendorf is a friend of Murdoch. Specifically, the order authorized Mr. Westendorf to execute the release attached hereto as Exhibit C without referencing the dogs at all. The release recited that Gloria Satterfield received injuries on or about February 2nd, 2018 after falling down in front of the stairs of Colleton County, South Carolina residence owned by Richard Alexander Murdoch and Margaret Murdoch, and that Gloria subsequently died. Importantly, the release stipulated that Murdoch had no liability whatsoever in Gloria's death. So assuming it matters, and it does not, why did Nautilus pay the Gloria Satterfield claim? The reasons are manifold as described in the second comprehensive report, which evaluated the Satterfield claim and was prepared by Nautilus for an outside legal counsel. A copy which is attached here to is Exhibit D. The reasons Nautilus settled the claim included no particular order. A. Based on an interview with Paul reported that in the presence of his father, he heard Alex ask Gloria what happened, and that Gloria said something about the dogs. Paul also reported having woken up by the dogs and coming outside to find Gloria at the bottom of the stairs. Wait, so this is saying that they interviewed Paul? Paul reported that in the presence of his father, he heard... Does that mean that Paul said that he heard Gloria tell Alex that the dogs happened or something like that? Hi, Rain. How are you doing today? So the dogs were there when it happened? Paul also reported having awoken by dogs and coming outside to find Gloria at the bottom of the steps. Based on an interview with Maggie described that all 4 dogs were loose on the property, that she was awoken by the dogs barking, that she went outside to find Gloria at the foot of the steps, and the dogs were walking near Satterfield. Maggie added the dog named Bourbon was just horrible, was attention-seeking, and was known to get under people's feet. What? Horrible? When asked what she thought happened, Maggie stated her belief was that the dogs got in Gloria's way as she came up the steps. Alex Murdoch was not present at the time of the fall, but arrived later. Alex claims that Gloria told him the dogs had tripped her, a fact that appears corroborated by Paul. I thought Alex never showed up at his property. I thought Alex only showed up when she was already at the hospital. The venue of lawsuit file was a key issue, as the suit would likely be in Colleton or Hampton counties, which is located in plaintiff-friendly circuit. The 14th Court has 2 resident judges, Judge Perry Buckner and Judge Carmen Mullen. These judges know Murdoch and Mr. Fleming well. The real reason Nautilus settled the claim is that it made an economic decision that the risk of litigating with Murdoch on his home turf was too great. So it seems like they just paid him out because, not because they believe his story, was because they're like, you know what, it's not worth dealing with it. Let's just give him the money, whatever. As insurance companies do on a daily basis, Nautilus had a right and free agency to deny the claim and tell the claimants what they tell every day: prove it. Nautilus shows otherwise. In doing so, they had conducted their own independent investigation in the circumstances surrounding Gloria's fall. They were assisted by outside counsel, and they negotiated for a resolution that included the stipulation that Murdoch had done nothing wrong. Bourbon and Bubba, both being framed. As the orders approving the two settlements comprising $4.3 million has never been challenged, it is the law of the case that Murdoch had no liability in the fall that caused the injuries and the death of Gloria Satterfield. The matter was resolved for business and other insurance companies' internal reasons unrelated to any recently self-admitted fraud. Again, Murdoch has led the court that the reason the claim was paid was the result of having misled the prior court in approving the Nautilus settlement. One can only imagine that when someone had manufactured so many mistruths, it becomes difficult to keep it all straight. But the reality is neither the petitions, the order, nor the release mentioned dogs as it relates to Gloria's fall. So I think back in a couple weeks ago, Murdoch was like, you know what? Gloria's fall was not caused by the dogs. But now we have this document here that says, like, you know what? Like, the money that Murdoch was given anyways, it's not because they gave it to him because they believe his story. They gave it because they were afraid that he was going to, I don't know, it's not worth going to court with him, you know? This is playing fast and loose, and it is out of bounds. Hi! Hello, guys. What's going on? But this is not only the matter in which Murdoch has and continues to play fast and loose with the courts. As it relates to the confession itself, that Murdoch describes in the present motion as a legal nullity, he has at least twice not acknowledged the confession in other courts as being valid. Related to Murdoch's criminal indictments for having stolen millions of dollars from the Satterfield family, Murdoch had a bond reduction hearing before the Honorable Allison Lee on January 18, 2022. All right, this is the part that I was talking about earlier about the confession of judgment and why they think Alex Murdaugh decided to do this confession of judgment. The negotiation of the material terms of the confession of judgment took place advance of the bond reduction hearing. It was important to Murdoch to execute the confession prior to the bond reduction hearing for two important reasons. First, he wanted to be able to report to the court that he had settled his disputes with the Satterfields. Second, he wanted to quell further opposition from Bland Richter to his request for a lower bond. During the bond reduction hearing, Murdoch and his legal team reported to the court that they had resolved their disputes with the Satterfield family and that Murdoch would be signing the confession. Much to Murdoch's dissatisfaction, Judge Lee did not lower his bond. Good. Clearly, when it served Murdoch's purposes to advance the validity of the confession to the court, he did so. To be certain, the court accepted the representation that Murdoch had made matters right with Satterfield as it went without challenge. One may suppose that Murdoch is now dissatisfied that he didn't get the value that he sought at the time by telling the court that he would sign the confession. But his perceived lack of value is no basis for a takeback, a do-over, or a mulligan. This is precisely the type of fast and loose conduct that judicial estoppel seeks to quell. Get him! Alex literally wakes up and thinks, what lie should I tell today? I mean, that man is bored, okay? He's bored, sitting in prison. He ain't got nothing better to do, except for bugging Jim and Harpootlian. But there is more. On May 11, 2022, Nautilus Insurance Company sued Murdoch and others in the U.S. District Court seeking to recover the $3.8 million that it paid beneficiary to Kouri Fleming. Again, Kouri Fleming is I think they're like college buddies or something. College buddies, super close. Kouri Fleming, also a lawyer, also in trouble, on behalf of the Satterfield estate, which was subsequently diverted. To be clear, the Satterfield family never received the first dollar of the Nautilus money. In its amended complaint, Nautilus alleged that Murdoch filed a proposed confession of judgment on March 24, 2022, referencing the confession that is the subject of this motion. Amended complaint, page 18. On May 1st, 2023, Murdoch filed his answer to the amended complaint, admitting the above allegation, thus stipulating the validity of the confession. Murdoch did not take position that the confession was a nullity in the federal action. Just 15 days after stipulating the validity of the confession in federal court, Murdoch filed the present motion seeking to invalidate the confession. Perhaps this filing will remind Murdoch to amend his federal pleading to deny the validity of the confession if he at least wants to be consistent in his lies. when it served Murdoch to parade the confession before the court as a sign of his magnanimous and contrition, he did so. Magnanimous is like someone who does like good. Contrition is like if you feel remorseful for something you do. When Nautilus said in effect, "Thanks for admitting you stole the money we paid to you beneficially for the Satterfield. We will like it back now." He reversed the course and now seeks to disavow the same confession. The goal of judicial estoppel is to prevent a party from playing fast and loose with the courts and to protect the essential integrity of the process. It must be weird to live in a world where the truth has absolutely no bearing on what you say or do. He's in custody now. The world seems to be getting larger these days. I bet he's already starting to scam other inmates, possibly. He's been doing like sports betting, in prison and stuff like that. I heard stories about him not being there, rushing back from work, but not possible for him to be there before EMS. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, how the heck would he have gotten there before EMS did, right? But yeah, I don't think he was ever there. Dingus, I'm so late. Hello, how are you doing today? Well, at least you made it. It's all good. Hi, Paul. How are you doing today? What's going on? Number 3, top. Did I read this part already? I did, right? Who has played faster and looser with the courts than Murdoch? 3, top. The fact that Murdoch's legal team had bigger fish to fry does not create a basis for relief. When the confession to judgment was agreed to, Mr. Murdoch's counsel knew that he had stolen the money. They were unaware, however, of the details of the claim and underlying settlement, and in the run-up to Mr. Murdoch's murder trial, they had no reason to delve into the issue. They had bigger fishes to fry. Simply put, wow, exclamation mark. In unpacking this one, it's probably best to create a timeline altering to the one advanced by Team Murdoch in order to dispel the notion that somehow Murdoch's unwitting counsel got snuck up by those dastardly lawyers on the other side. As the timeline will show, not only is it untrue that Team Murdoch had bigger fish to fry, Murdoch had no other fish to fry. No fish sticks for you, Murdoch. At the time of confession. All right, let's read the timeline real quick then. September 3rd, 2021. We're going to be in 2021. Murdoch was forced to resign from his family law firm after his partner said he stole millions of dollars from the firm and the clients. The day after, Murdoch called 911 to report that he'd been shot in the head while trying to change a tire. 2 weeks after, Murdoch was sued by the Satterfield family for stealing settlement proceeds, and SLED announced it was opening an investigation. The day after, Murdoch was arrested and charged with fraud and conspiracy in the fake roadside shooting scheme. He was quietly released on a personal recognizance bond and went to a drug detox center in Florida. A month after, Murdoch was arrested in Florida Detox Center and charged with stealing millions from the Satterfield family. A couple days after, Murdoch was denied bond by the Honorable Clifton Newman. Hey, Judge Newman! Note, negotiations for a settlement for the Satterfield civil's claim against Murdoch began at around the same time. While the Satterfield had recovered in excess of $7.5 million from the other defendants, the suit continued against Murdoch. December 7, 2021. Via email, Eric Bland and Jim Griffin negotiated the amount of the proposed confession. Eric Bland initially proposed $5 million. Wow. $5 million. Griffin responded with the proposed math, indicating an amount of $4.191 million. $4,191,200. To which Bland replied, Jim, symbolically, it's got to be what are these numbers? 4,003,005. A copy of the email chain is attached in Exhibit E. Oh, I do have the email chain, but I don't think the email's spicy or anything like that. Not with Elaine and Sam. Hi, Micha. How are you doing today? How's it going? Thanks for popping on in. Hello. December 9, 2021. Ronnie Richter emailed Harpootlian and Griffin regarding the mechanics of having the Murdoch confess his judgment to the Satterfields. Quotation marks. I just got off the phone with Amy Hill, the court-appointed receiver, who raised a very legitimate concern. Because Alex is locked down, he technically has no authority or ability to confess judgment. That is, unless the court grants him the right. In discussing it with Amy, it seems her best approach is to have the receiver petition Judge Hall for relief in the injunction to permit Alex to confess. The receiver supports the settlement we are proposing. To appease all other judgment creditors, the proposal would be to include language to the following effect. The receiver requests relief from the injunction to permit Mr. Murdoch to execute the proposed confession while preserving for a later date arguments regarding the validity and or priority of other judgment creditors. A copy of the email is attached. December 9. In response to the email above, Harpootlian replied, fine with me. Emphasis added. Department. December 13. The Honorable Allison Lee set bond for Alex Murdaugh's financial indictments at $7 million. During the bond hearing, Dick Harpootlian told the court that Murdoch agreed to pay the Satterfields $4.3 million. Yep, and he was lying through his damn teeth. Hi, Brandon. How are you doing today? How's it going? Did you have a good weekend? December 13, following the bond hearing, Eric Bland emailed Amy Hill. Dick and I informed Judge Lee this morning that Alex will be giving and my clients would accept a $4.3 million confession of judgment in the pending civil suit. Are you drafting the motion on behalf of the receiver for the court to accept his agreement? Please let us know how John wants us to proceed. Once accepted, we have an agreement to have the resolution of the pending motions of the civil case. Thanks, Eric. Email attached. January 2nd, 2022, Eric Bland emailed Harpootlian and Griffin. Happy New Year. I got a call from Amy today who said that she needs either a covenant or a settlement agreement to submit to the court with a confession of judgment that we agreed upon. Dick, I recalled you were telling me that you were going to sign the confession of judgment and you would hold it in your file. Did Alex ever sign the confession of judgment? You've also said that you're going to make a few changes to the covenant. I've attached it again. Can you do it so we can get it over to Amy Hill this week for filing? There are motions scheduled in our case in a couple of weeks. I want to be able to let Judge Price know that we resolved everything. Thank you, Eric. February 9, 2022. In an email to Amy Hill and John Lay with copies to Harpootlian and Griffin, Eric Bland forwarded the proposed covenant and confession, but explained that the covenant was not final as Jim has to tweak it. Oh, excuse me. The email went on to make clear with regard to the confession, the Satterfields would become just one of the victim creditors who will have no priority over the other victims. A copy is attached. February 9. In an email thread between the attorneys and the Satterfield, Jim wrote at 3:21 with regard to the Murdoch covenant and confession of judgment. Here are my tweaks in red line and clean versions. Ronnie Richter replied, wow, really quickly. Jim, I would only further tweak it to say that noting contained shall be construed as a waiver of Murdoch's right to seek set off or credit. He can seek it. We don't stipulate that is entitled to it, but that's the fight for another day. The point was how to address the fact that the Satterfields had recovered against other parties in the event the receiver came into possession of funds, and Murdoch wanted to advance the argument that in considering the Satterfields' right to further payment, Murdoch should receive a credit or set off for other recoveries. Jim replied pretty quickly, here's the final agreed upon covenant. We agreed to the early confession of judgment document. Eric replied, also really quickly, Jim, first, thank you for getting the covenant today. Second, will you notify Judge Price that the hearings on February do not need to go forward, that they should be continued until Judge Hall either approves or denies the covenant or confession. March 1st to 7th, a lengthy email exchange occurring between the attorneys and Satterfield, Murdoch, receivers. March 1st, Amy Hill wrote, please see the attached confession of judgment with Ronnie and any changes. We're working on the motion to the court and hoping to get that out tomorrow. We'll continue to the court and let them know it's coming. Hopefully, no need for hearing. March 1st, Eric Bland wrote, Jim, we have spent the last 3 negotiating this. Okay, Eric. March 7th, Jim Griffin wrote, Eric, I hate to upset the apple cart. That was an apple cart. But there needs to be a provision here qualifying that the allocation will be determined by the receivership court or other court of competent jurisdiction. Also, there should be a provision stating that by entering into this confession, the debtor is not consenting to the appointment of a receiver and does not waive his right to challenge the same. The conversation continued, and a complete copy of the email chain is linked here to Exhibit K. The email chain culminates with Amy Hill asking Jim Griffin, what was the reason for Alex to offer the confession of judgment? Jim Griffin responds, to end the litigation to avoid the unnecessary litigation expense to the Satterfields. Eric Bland emailed the Honorable Bentley Price, copying Harpootlian, Griffin, and the receiver, stating the part, my understanding is that the confession of judgment is going to be submitted tomorrow to Judge Hall for his approval and review. As such, if approved, all motions between the plaintiffs and Murdochs will be reserved and dismissed. As such, we jointly ask that you once again continue the pending motion scheduled for March 16th until next month your disposal. Judge Hall approved the order permitting Alex Murdoch to enter the confession with the Satterfield. Wait, we jump like what is a year later? So we're in 2022 though. Sorry guys, I missed that part. The approved $4.3 million confession was filed with the clerk's office May 31st, 2022. July 12, 2021. Wait, why are we back in 2021? Maybe this is a typo. Alex Murdoch was disbarred after the South Carolina Supreme Court received a copy of the filed confession. July 14th. Alex Murdoch is indicted on 2 counts of murder for the killing of his wife and son. Arguably, this is the earliest date when the run-up to the murder trials have begun. At this point, Murdoch finally had bigger fishes to fry. Murdoch pleaded not guilty to the murders of Paul and Maggie and requested a speedy trial. January 23rd, Murdoch's murder trial began. March 2nd, Murdoch was found guilty of killing his wife and son. May 16th, the present motion is filed. In essence, Murdoch seems to contend that by claiming his legal counsel had bigger fish to fry, that he should be relieved from the judgment due to the errors of his legal counsel. Is he blaming his lawyers now? While styled as a motion of relief under Rule 60b-3 or 60b-4, this argument is more akin to relief under 60b-1 as a result of mistakes, inadvertence, surprise, or excusable neglect. As such, the question posed is really twofold. Did Murdoch's legal team make mistakes? And if so, does it entitle Murdoch to relief from his judgment? Oh, man. He's throwing his lawyers under the bus. I mean, is that really anything new with Murdoch? I don't know. As to the first part of the inquiry, it is difficult to say that a mistake was made in negotiation that spanned over 6 months with agreements that were materially negotiated. Happy Monday to you, too. And modified by Murdoch's esteemed legal team, and which were ultimately presented to a court for approval with their consent. It is especially true in light of the fact that the false assertion of frying fish has been completely dispelled. An excellent discussion of whether attorney negligence entitles a party to relief from judgment under Rule 60 is found in the Ninth Circuit. The Ninth Circuit has repeatedly refused to provide relief on account of excusable neglect to attorney-based mistakes of law. Applying this principle, the courts have declined to vacate judgments under Rule 60b-1 where the attorney committed an error of law. More citations. In short, Murdoch's fish fry does not create a basis for relief from his judgment. Number 4, chunk. There is no technical defect in the confession that entitles Murdoch to relief. Next on the T, Murdoch contends that because of the technical defect in the confession that he and his legal team negotiated for over 6 months, asked the court to approve, and paraded before other courts in other settings beneficial to Murdoch, he is now entitled to relief from his confession. I love the way how they word this. Man, I wish I was really good. I wish I was good at wording things like this. Before addressing the defects of which Murdoch now complains, it is important first to look back to the genesis of the confession and its terms. Alex probably finds 700 years sentence too short. He wants more. He says, bring it on. As discussed above, the confession was the end product of months of negotiation between counsel for Murdoch, counsel for Satterfield, and the court-appointed receivers. The receivership, however, was established in a separate action in the matter of Renee S. Beach as a personal representative of the state of Mallory Beach or Gregory M. Parker, the Beach case. Because Alex Murdoch asked, I think Alex Murdoch has appeared in court for the Beach case as well. Jesus, this guy is just he's just being dragged in all the cases, man. Because Alex Murdoch's assets had come under the authority of the receivership in the Beach case, the parties in the Satterfield matter agreed to the receiver in the Beach case would need to ask the court's permission to allow Murdoch to execute the confession. Permission in the Beach case was then requested by the parties in the Satterfield case, Murdoch included. On May 16, 2022, the Honorable Daniel Dewitt Hall entered an order in the Beach case granting Murdoch the permission to execute the confession that Murdoch had requested to sign. So it looked like he went through a lot of hoops and hurdles just to get this confession of judgment in. A copy of the order is attached. With reference to the confession that Murdoch was granted permission to sign, it contains a few important provisions that were conveniently omitted in the motion. Debtor admits liability to the judgment creditors for the claims asserted against him. Debtor hereby affirms and represents his judgments legally binding and enforcing. He will not contest its validity or enforcement. Debtor has agreed to enter this judgment and any transfers contemplated herein or any transfers made pursuant to the judgment or intended by him to be a contemporaneous exchange for new value. Okay, so this is stuff that they omitted and they're just bolding it and making sure that's in this one. First, the confession itself bars Murdoch's present motion does so by his own stipulation that he will not contest its validity or enforcement. Of course, the motion attempts to sidestep this bar by pointing vaguely to the same tired dialogue that Murdoch's opiate use impeded his judgment. Oh no. He's saying it's the drug's fault now. Man, this guy just blaming everyone. Let's blame the lawyers. Let's blame the dogs. Let's blame the drugs. You know what? It's not the dogs. It was me who did it. Let's just blame everything. Let's blame the insurance companies. They shouldn't have been dumb enough to pay it off. Dude, Alex Murdoch is he's wild. This guy needed to be locked up a long time ago before he even harmed his family. Yeah, no one caught him. I mean, they were slowly getting onto him, right? And then fucking Hail Mary decided to murder his family, probably to get sympathy and stuff. But yeah, that didn't work. Jesus. The drugs made me do it. But here again, by his own stipulation, Murdoch agreed that he entered into the confession freely and voluntarily, that he would not contest in any way his capacity or authority to do so. Furthermore, with reference to the time provided above, Murdoch was arrested in September 2021 and was released September 16, 2021. At which time he went directly to the drug detox center in Florida. He remained in detox until October 14, 2021, at which time he was remanded. I wonder when he was at the detox center, he was pretending to suffer from withdrawals. Jesus, I wish we can get reports on that. I know we can't, but because I remember how one of the brothers testified, I think, then they said like when they were driving Murdoch to like the drug detox center, like Murdoch was like having withdrawals and he like literally like shat his pants. But I wonder if Murdoch was just playing it up, you know, if he was really going through withdrawals, or if he just really like, you know, I need to convince my brothers that I'm going through withdrawals and I didn't kill my family, so let me just shit my pants really quick to really convince them. Dude, it's so dishonest that he probably even lies about the meal he wants when he orders at a restaurant. Remember he's saying that he was popping a hot... Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yes, dude, his lies were just so outlandish. Yeah, I was popping 50 to 80 pills a day. Uh-huh, yep, uh-huh. Yo, I completely forgot about that. In his remanded bond hearing in front of Judge Lee from Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center in 2021, 5 months before he gave the confessed judgment, Murdoch told Judge Lee in a video that his head has never been clearer and that he is off drugs, is exercising, and is healthy. Those must have been some powerful drugs to have rendered Murdoch incapacitated for the 10 months or so when he entered rehab and presumably stopped taking drugs. And at the time, he finally executed the confession on May 27, 2022. But we digress. Back to the technical defects. Wait, hold on a second. So Murdoch is saying that his head wasn't clear at the time of the confession of judgment, even though apparently he was done with the detox center about like 8 months before. What was he doing? Getting drugs like in prison or something? Oh, God. Let's see. Okay, hold on. The motion cites South Carolina Code. Oh, actually, hold on a second. No, he wasn't in prison by that time because I don't think he was arrested until a year later, right? Yeah, he was not in prison. He was arrested way later. Okay, but he was in trouble for the Satterfield stuff. Okay. The motion cites South Carolina Code for the basis of asserting the alleged fatally defective flaws in the confession, which flaws render the confession void under Rule 60b-4. The logic here is muddled at best. Rule 60b-4 provides a court may relieve a party of his legal representation from the final judgment order proceeding if the judgment is void. The definition of void under the rule only encompasses judgments from courts which fail to provide proper due process or judgment from courts which lack subject matter jurisdiction or personal jurisdiction. There is no assertion of a lack of due process or a lack of jurisdiction here. In order to cure the obvious defect in this logic, Murdoch pivots to argue, as best we can tell, that because of certain alleged defects, the parties, Murdoch included, acted ultra vires. The fuck is that? Vires? Veers? What is a veer in law? The extent of a court or legislator's jurisdiction to do something. Okay. Acted ultra vires. I don't understand how it works in the sentence, but okay. So to render the confession void. To condense the thought, Murdoch contends that he asked the Judge Hall for permission to execute the confession, and when by order by Judge Hall said that Richard A. Murdoch was permitted to sign the proposed confession of judgment attached to this order, there was a defect in the confession that was so pernicious as to nullify even Judge Hall's permission to sign it. As preposterous as that sounds, let's review the defects. Defect number 1. Here, the confession at issue states no facts whatsoever regarding the basis of Mr. Murdoch's liability. To the contrary, the confession states that Murdoch admits liability to the judgment creditors for the claims asserted against them in their complaint. This is known as incorporation by reference. The claims asserted Murdoch in the complaint are factually rich and, more importantly, are admitted in toto through the confession. Into the confession? In toto? I don't know. It's sort of a word. Murdoch's motion mocks the very purpose of 1535-360, which is to protect against sham judgments that would only serve to frustrate or prejudice other legitimate creditors. Of course, this too is yet another flag that Murdoch flies in his motion, waving his flag, that is really trying to champion the rights of other victims, the fallacy of which is discussed in the section to follow. Okay, tell us. Defect number 2. The confession must show the sum confessed does not exceed the liability. In the complaint that was incorporated and admitted into the confession as being 100% accurate, the Satterfields describe in rich factual detail how Alex Murdoch devised a scheme to use his position as a lawyer to steal 4.3 million. Sorry, I don't know why I read it like that. And to leave his clients who had just lost their mother with nothing, not one red dime. Yeah, it's so crazy to me that he didn't give them any money. Even, like, I don't know, like, give him like a couple $100,000, but like, here you go, that's all I can get from them. Give him a couple $100,000. Like, he gave him nothing at all. The complaint included claims for breach of fiduciary duty and legal malpractice, and included a prayer for punitive damages. While Team Murdoch has decided on their own after the Satterfield recovered in excess of $7.5 million, that was, the Satterfield has been paid enough, which importantly was prior to the confession. Murdoch stipulated in the confession to the liability for the claims asserted in the complaint that he was subject to a punitive award, and agreed by the language confession itself that it was given in exchange for release of further alleged liability. By settlement, Murdoch received that value in the form of a receipt. Sorry, I'm butchering the statement. By settlement, Murdoch received that value in the form of a release of the very same liability. There's no defect here. As for the idea of defects generally being a basis to set aside confessed judgments, our Supreme Court has not required strict statutory compliance in upholding judgments. As it relates to the statutory requirement of an affidavit or attestation of the debtor, our court held in, oh my God, sometimes these court documents are really tough for me to read. Okay, keep going. We're almost done. Here, the movement does not contend that there was a defect that somehow deprived the court of the subject matter jurisdiction to permit the confession. Moreover, to the extent that any defect exists, which is denied, it is a defect equally of Murdoch's own creation. He is the rare litigant that would point to his own error as a basis to escape his admitted liability. This is Alex Murdoch. Number 5, hook. Murdoch's newfound concern for his other victims is not a basis for relief. First, it is the best of the product of very shaky memory to suggest the court of the confession works at a disadvantage to other victims, and it is worse an outright misrepresentation to the court. As shown to the timeline and email communication above, it was discussed and agreed upon from the outset that if Murdoch were to confess judgment, we would have to reserve for the later date arguments regarding the validity and or priority of the judgment creditors. This language carried through the negotiation and the execution of the judgment. The importance of this concession cannot be overstated. The Satterfields were the first financial victims of Alex Murdoch to sue him. As such, they were first in line among financial victims, and they had continued their actions against him. They would have been first to obtain the judgment against him. As it relates to judgments, first time is first in right. The Satterfields agreed to give it priority and to join any future creditors or judgment holders on equal footing. Oh, it's nice of them. Not only did the Satterfields agree to this concession, they have lived up to it. On 3 separate occasions, the receiver has sought to sell a Murdoch asset in order to create a pool of funds for the future distribution of creditors. So again, there's a lot of victims that Alex Murdoch owes money to, and the Satterfields were the first to sue him. And what it's basically saying that, even though Satterfields were the first to sue him and probably the first to get all the money from him, they decided to be like, hey, you know what? We'll join in with the other victims, and you don't have to pay us first. We'll join with other victims. You guys can pay us all, maybe equally. On 3 separate occasions, the receivers reached out of the Satterfields through their counsel to obtain a partial release of judgment lien in order to allow the sales to take place. On 3 separate occasions, the Satterfields have executed the partial release to allow the sales of assets. Partial release of lien attached here to exhibits N, O, P. Of course, these events are well known to Murdoch at the time he filed for his motion, suggesting that if he didn't do something, the confession would only serve to harm his other victims. On the other hand, Murdoch certainly knows how to work the system in order to give the judgment that creates the same inequity he suddenly seems duty-bound to prevent. On September 15, 2021, the Satterfield complaint was filed. October 28, 2021, Randolph Murdoch IV sued his brother for $46,500. The very next day, Alex Murdoch confessed judgment to his brother for $90,000, necessitating the receiver to file a motion. So this is Randy, right? Yeah, this is Randy right here. Oh my gosh, dude. Randy, you guys remember Randy at the trial? Randy was at the trial every day, until I think they got to the finances part. And then I think at that point, Randy was like, you know what, fuck this. And I think Randy, when Alex Murdaugh was testifying, I think at that point, that's when he believed that Alex Murdaugh really did murder his wife and his kid. Just something about him being up on the stand, man. He just shady. Copies of the pleas were attached in Exhibit Q. On October 29, 2021, John E. Parker, former law partner and financier to Alex Murdaugh, sued Murdaugh for $477,000. On November 2nd, 2021, Alex Murdaugh confessed judgment to his friend, former partner in the same amount, necessitating another motion for emergency order, staying enforcement of confession of judgment. Copies of these pleadings are attached to Exhibit R. This is how you cheat in front of the line. This is how you use a confessed judgment to enhance the standing of another creditor over the rights of other. This is not what transpired in regard to the confession that is the subject of the motion. While not pretending to speak for all Alex Murdaugh victims, respectfully, we think you've done enough for your victims. Number 6, Duff. All right, almost done, guys. Almost done. Bubba, the true hero? True. Number 6, Duff. Pointing to other misconduct by the adverse party is not a basis for relief. Ooh, I'm getting hungry, guys. I'm gonna plow through this. In a confusing grant in a vacuum of legal authority, Team Murdoch seems to contend here that he should be entitled to relief from his confession because Eric Bland called him bad names on social media, and or Nautilus should seek its money from the Satterfields and their legal counsel. The audacity. On November 22nd, 2021, Team Murdoch filed an emergency motion for gag order and sanctions as to Eric Bland about his alleged extrajudicial statements to the press and to television interviews. Boo-hoo, Eric Bland is talking shit about you. As the parties negotiated to settle this case, it was known that the settlements would represent a complete release of all matters. The fact that all motions would be resolved by virtue of a settlement was discussed by and between counsel through the settlement discussions. Through the settlement agreement and the confession, the motion and other motions were made moot. Nevertheless, Team Murdoch seeks now effectively to resurrect the very same matter that they agreed had been resolved in order to manufacture a non-existent basis to seek relief from the confession to do so purportedly, because Mr. Bland and Team Satterfield had sought to harm other victims, and Murdoch is now helping frame of mind. In truth, the motion really makes an argument that connects the dots between misconduct and relief, but instead, Team Murdoch loosely cites other misconduct in an attempt to divert attention away from the indefensible behavior of their client and the nonsensical logic in their motion. To be clear, did we have a reply from the judge yet from this? This was filed when? June 6th? We have a reply yet? I know, right? What bad names. Yeah, Ray distanced himself from his brother after all was said and done. I am not my brother. I am a good lawyer. Yeah, I'm so glad. I hate it when like family members just support each other no matter what, even though they know the family member's done fucked up. Listen, if your family member's fucked up, you don't need to support them. Loyalty, fuck that. Bye. You want to be loyal to good people. You don't want to be loyal to shitty people, okay? Without explaining how it creates any right to relief from the confession, Murdoch's motion reaches its crescendo in suggesting somehow that Nautilus should seek relief from the Satterfields. Oh God. Why? I don't understand why even suggest Nautilus to get relief from the Satterfields? Like what? Who thought that was a good move to even suggest that? Was Harpootlian and Griffin, were they like, hey, you know, maybe it's not a good idea? And like Murdoch's like, no, let's do it. I'm the boss here. Let's just do it. I don't know whose idea was that. It just looks bad as well. While the Satterfield's legal counsel would recognize the sheer ridiculousness of such assertion, it is nonetheless upsetting to lay clients who have already been put through legal gristmill by Alex Murdaugh. It appears Satterfield boys are not among the victims of whom Alex Murdaugh has a newfound sense of morality. Oh God, Alex Murdaugh and morality in the same sentence. Ugh. And given the role of Tony Satterfield in standing tall during Murdaugh's criminal trial, Murdaugh acts like one who has a favor to repay. According to the motion, the restatement expresses a common sense principle that if restitution for stolen money is given to the wrong party, the actual victim has a claim on that restitution, even if the source of the restitution is a third party paying on their behalf, because of the perceived joint liability with the thief. To which we reply, what? ¿Qué? First, the restatement stands for no such contortions. Nautilus did not make a payment to Murdoch by mistake. Again, they're saying that Nautilus didn't pay Murdoch because they thought he, they believed his story with the dogs. They paid him because they didn't want to deal with his ass, okay? Nautilus paid money in trust to Kouri Fleming to fund an agreed upon settlement for the beliefs of the Satterfield boys. Hold on. Nautilus paid money in trust to Kouri Fleming, another shady actor, to fund an agreement upon settlement for the benefit of the Satterfield boys. None of that money went to the Satterfield boys. In bold. When you're writing court stuff, are you allowed to write in all bold and capitalizations? Is that allowed? like this? I know you could probably do bold when you're doing like categories, right? But like just writing it like this. I don't know. Are you allowed to do this? I love it though. Okay. All of the money was stolen, misappropriated, etc. If the motion suggests that the money, i.e. the Nautilus money, should be traced and clawed back from the ultimate recipients, perhaps that is a legal support. There is a legal support for that proposition. Of course, the motion makes no accounting for those who actually received the stolen property and never suggests Team Murdoch's own pockets should be examined for stolen money. Oh no, now the Satterfield lawyers are like, you know what? Maybe look into Murdoch's lawyers. What's lining their pockets? What money is paying for their legal stuff? Is that what they're saying? Wouldn't that be a straighter path? To the contrary, in the game of legal bait and switch, the motion seems to want to put Nautilus hounds on the Satterfield trail, but that trail never crossed. On a completely separate front from the completely separate sources, sorry, my stomach is going to grow. The Satterfield family sued Murdoch and others for their respective roles in the theft of their money. They made recoveries on theories ranging from malpractice to breach of fiduciary duty, negligence, and fraud. Back in quotation marks, back in bold. None of the money received by the Satterfield is Nautilus money, nor is Nautilus beneficially entitled to it. Thus, what the motion advances is a theory that Murdoch and the beneficiaries of the stolen money should be able to retain that money because the Satterfields were successful in suing them and recovering from other sources. Not surprisingly, no case law is cited for this proposition. Also, not surprisingly, Nautilus have never made such a claim. Number 7, block. Murdoch's spoliation of evidence makes it impossible to put the parties back to where they once were. By his motion, Murdoch contends that he should be entitled to set aside his confession and restore the parties to where they were before the confession, in which case the Satterfield boys can just return to their lawsuit against him. While it has been deduced from that motion, it appears to be Team Murdoch's theory that in returning to their lawsuit against Murdoch, the Satterfields would have to prove that the dogs caused Gloria's fall, such that Murdoch would have the liability for her injuries and death. Oh no, this is such a mess. Leave the Satterfields alone. Nothing could be further from the truth. Can't wait to hear from the judge. What the Satterfields would have to prove is that Murdoch stole their money, a fact that he has admitted in the confession and under oath in the criminal trial. But clever Mr. Murdoch would contend that there never should have been any money because Murdoch obtained it through fraud. Thus, in Murdoch logic, he could not have stolen that which he could not have possessed. Oh my God. This guy is I don't know, man. How is he so dumb but smart scammy at the same time? Jesus. So what is the real game here? If Murdoch is right, and he is most certainly wrong, then the Satterfields would have to prove the manner of Gloria's death, a matter which had been impossible by the fact that an unprecedented act of spoliation of evidence, Murdoch has murdered only the surviving witnesses, true, who could have testified with regard to Gloria's fall. Based on the reports, the facts known to both Maggie and Paul at the time of Gloria's fall are preserved, but at the same time, they are precluded from use as hearsay. Thus, in asking for equitable relief from this court, Murdoch's view of equity would be allow him to keep the stolen money, or at least not recover from the folks he gave it to, relieve him from the confession that he executed voluntarily and freely, make the Satterfields return to the time and expense to their prior lawsuit, and in that lawsuit, tell the Satterfields that they have to prove how Gloria died, and do so without the benefit of the witnesses he has murdered. This is so twisted. This is like a fucking crazy, I don't know. It's like a crazy ass like true crime movie. This is so wild. So many twists and turns. We apologize for the length of that sentence, but it is reflective of the depths of the rabbit holes the team Murdoch would urge upon this court. Murdoch's spoliation of evidence is yet another reason not to indulge his ridiculous prayer for relief from the confession. Now we're going on to the motions of sanctions. God, Okay. At some point, some line somewhere has to be crossed by Murdoch where the court will send a strong message to him and to his entire legal team to stop victimizing his victims, to stop weaponizing the legal system to extract punishment. Surely the legal Rubicon has been crossed by filing this motion, and anyone who facilitated its filing should be sanctioned. Get him! Get him! Rule, la 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 la. Under this rule, a party and or the party's attorney may be sanctioned for filing a frivolous pleading, motion and or paper, or making frivolous arguments. Elaine, where you at? I'm just kidding. I'm leaving later alone. I'm sorry. The party and or the attorney may be sanctioned for filing a pleading, motion and or paper in bad faith. The sanction may include an order to pay the reasonable costs and attorney's fees incurred. Man, I don't know if they're going to get any money from Murdaugh. I don't know, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to recover any costs from the Murdoch people. Against frivolous actions, action brought in bad faith, reasonable fine to be paid to the court. Jesus. Skipping through a little bit. Skipping through frivolous civil proceedings, South Carolina. No reasonable attorney who spent 6 months negotiating the settlement of a case that involved a confession of judgment, who then petitioned a court to accept the settlement and to permit the execution of the confession, and then use the confession in other judicial proceedings, would wait another eve of the 1-year anniversary of the confession and point to phantom defects as a means to avoid it. Likewise, no reasonable attorney would misrepresent to a court that the reason the confession was executed in the first place was that they had bigger fishes to fry and were not paying close enough attention to detail when the fish they were referencing, i.e. the murder indictments, did not exist at the time of the confession. Oh no, did they not have their timelines together when they put that in? Yikes. In the discharge of our Rule 11 obligation to consult, requests were made of Team Murdoch to withdraw the present motion in order to avoid the time and expense of the reply. Those requests were unsuccessful, as shown through the attached email chain. I love when they found the receipt and got the testimony about the missing gun, and the spring man was shocked and pissed about that he ruined the story of the missing since Christmas too. Oh, so many lies. Oh, what was it again? The gun. Are you talking about the friend that testified on the stand? I think there's 2 people that testified about the gun. One that was the person that sold the gun, right? I don't remember now. And then one was the friend that was really close with Paul, and then they shot together. How is Poon and Jim going to pay for their fish fry? Listen, I think Alex Murdoch is just still pulling all the strings behind the scenes, and Jim and Harpootlian is just listening to under the direction of their client. I don't know. They probably oh God, we don't want to do this, but I guess, I don't know. Listen to the client. I don't know, man. The Satterfield boys have had enough of Alex Murdoch. Their mother died at his home. From what is now known, it appears that by the time of their mother's funeral, Alex had already concocted a plan to monetize her death to his own benefit. Alex lied to them. Alex stole from them. Even now, as they try to put back the pieces of a once quiet, happy life, Alex Murdoch is literally a hand from the grave, like a little zombie, that would not allow them peace. We pray to the court that a sanction will issue against Team Murdoch that will finally shake his grip. Respectfully, anything short of sanction will serve to sanction his conduct. Signed, Glenn Richter. We got Ronald Richter here, Eric Bland, and Scott Mongelo. I don't know how to pronounce that. Jesus. I don't know. I thought this was a really spicy read. A lot of stuff in there I didn't understand, but the stuff that I didn't understand, I was like, this is spicy. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and I wanted to read it with you guys. And yeah, that's where we're at with Alex Murdoch. We got a lot of crazy people that we're going to be dealing with for the next next couple of months. We still got the Lori stuff happening. Have you guys heard any updates with Sarah? Actually, any updates with Sarah Boone? I know she got pretrial stuff happening, maybe a week before her actual trial, but I haven't heard any updates with Sarah Boone. Jesus. A lot of things pending. Great read. Yeah, my throat started getting really dry and I started tripping up the words. I tried, okay? I tried my best. I think I just need to take more breaks and just drink more water. Let me see. Sarah Boone. Let's look up her stuff. Oh, I do want to do a video about Sarah Boone and her boyfriend. Do you guys know if it's pronounced George or Jorge? Can anyone correct me? Because I don't know if it's George or Jorge. I've been saying both. I don't remember if she calls him George or Jorge in the video, or if she even calls his name at all. Does she? Does she even? Maybe I gotta rewatch the interrogation video. Let's see. Recent videos. I got my cases here. Let's see. Let's look up. What do we got? What do we got? Is this it? I think this is it. Let's look up Sarah Boone. Sarah. Search records. Search records. Criminal case records. All right. Got it. Oh, we got Letitia here. All right. Sarah. I don't remember her last name. Or I don't remember her middle name. Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone. 10/10/1977. I think that's her. Close. Okay, this one's open. See what's going on with Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone. Yeah. 7/11 hearing, pre-trial conference. So let's see if that happens. I don't know. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if they'll proceed with the trial. July 24th, we have the hearing. We got the trial happening. So I don't know. We'll wait until it gets closer to this date to see if it's really gonna happen or not. It's gonna be a very interesting one because she's crazy, man. She's batshit crazy. Type in suitcase lady. Oh, it is George. They call him George. Okay. I wasn't sure. I think I said Jorge, and then I was like, wait, is it George? Oh no. But thank you. Yeah, we have a lot of now I'm getting so Kouri Richins, I remember the ages of her kids, but then now we covered the dad from earlier. Now I'm getting all the ages all mixed up and stuff. I don't know, I'm starting to get all my information mixed up. So much pending stuff. Only a month to wait. If it happens, I don't know, man. This is the last correspondence that we had from her. Let's see what happened in the court minutes here. Nothing really. All right. We'll wait and see. Oh, but you know what? So a couple things that's happening. Let's see. What's this guy's name again? Chad, right? Piece of shit Chad. Piece of shit Chad right here. We got his preliminary happening in a couple days, and I might watch it. I think I'm gonna watch it. I might watch it on stream. I might not. We'll see. And then what else is there? Don't type in crazy lady. If I type in crazy lady, who do you think is gonna be the first to show up? Crazy lady. Jesus. Crazy lady is back. Oh, this is a book. Crazy lady. I don't know. It seems like it's a song. The images look kind of weird. Oh, Shabusiness. That's soon too. Oh, I should keep like a organized calendar or something. I don't. It's just all in my head. Yeah, Shabusiness is coming up too. So do you guys remember how there was a video that I wanted to watch with you guys and I couldn't find it for some reason? Well, I actually realized that it's been deleted. I think Law and Crime or I don't remember, or Court TV deleted it for some reason. I don't know why. So I couldn't watch it now. But yeah, Shabusiness should be. Do you guys know what let's see. I wonder if I can look up the court docs for Shabusiness. Wisconsin, right? Jesus. Oh, you know what? I've never read the Shabusiness documents. You guys want to read this really quick? I haven't read this yet. Just letting you guys know the Shabusiness stuff is like really like disturbing. You guys haven't heard of her. She might be mentally insane. I don't know. Or apparently they were on drugs too when this happened. Damn, she was born in 1997? She's that young? Why does Shabizz look like she's like 40 years old? I thought she was 40 years old. Wait, what? Hold on a second. Is this the right Shabizz? Shabizz? She looks... Oh. I guess depending on the picture. Like, she kind of looks young in this one. She looks old in this one. She kind of looks young in this one. She looks really old in this one. Bad makeup. I don't know. She looks... Yeah, I guess like with no makeup, she looks young. With makeup, she looks fucking old. Meth. She's 1997, dude. 1997. Oh, no. Hold on. Business. We want to read. I'm hungry and I gotta use the bathroom. Shabarishness. Can we tap Shabusiness for a different day? Actually, I feel like there's been too much trauma in the stream. Shabusiness. Let's see. When is she going to be in court? Yeah, I think her trial should be coming up like real soon. She had a hearing on June, which we heard about. State of Wisconsin, Brown County. State of Wisconsin, Brown County. Please let the documents be free. Court records. Give us the documents. Give us the documents. Court records. Last name is Shabusiness. That's a very interesting last name. What's her birthday again? 1997. Oh, crazy. Oh, is this her? Oh shit! I might have found her court docs. Okay. Oh, I found her. Okay, you guys want to look at it? You want to take a look? See? Yeah. Oh my God! No! Shabusiness and I have the same birthday. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I think Miley Cyrus also has the same birthday as me, and maybe Angelina Jolie. Jesus, why do I share a birthday with her? Oh God. She did a lot. That was just one of them. She did a lot. You guys can see right here. Yeah, she did a lot. Taylor Shabusiness, Wisconsin. Let's see what's next for her. Jury. Oh, hers is happening around the same time as the Sarah Boone stuff. Final pretrial, July 17. Jury selection, July 21st. Jury trial, July 24. Wow. Yeah, her and Sarah Boone is gonna happen around the same time. That's a lot. Is there anything that I can look at? No. God, I'm so nosy. I just wanna. Okay. Her real name is what is it? Taylor Denise Shabusiness. We're doomed. You went away for a second and screamed what happened? I have the same birthday as Taylor Shabusiness. Wait, hold on. Let me make myself feel better. Celebrity birthdays. Okay, yeah. Miley Cyrus and I have the same birthday. Anyone else cool on here? Who's on this list? Miley Cyrus. Snooki. Chuck Schumer. Who's that? Chuck Schumer. Okay. Alexis Wren. I think I recognize her name. Oh, Vincent Cassell. Okay. I like his face. Don't know. Bill Nye. Okay. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Let's go. Emilia Clarke. Okay. I feel better now. I feel better now. Oh, okay. Bill Nye the Science Guy has the same birthday as me. Cool. All right, guys. I'll do a shit business stuff. I don't know. I don't want to dedicate the stream to shit business. Honestly, I just want to do I just want to read the arrest thing. But she changed her mind to mind shit business. Funny. All right, guys. I think that's all that I got for today. We'll read the shit business stuff later. I'll definitely save this. And then, so we have preliminary hearing for piece of shit Chad. And then we have potential Sarah stuff coming up, Sarah Boone, shit business stuff, maybe same court trial date. And then I think we're still waiting for the Petito laundry decision. I don't think we've heard back from that yet. That's it for now. What else is there? That's it, right? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, thanks for hanging out here today joining us on the live stream. If you guys want to join the Discord, we do have a true crime section. You guys can copy and paste, like other copy and paste. Why did I say copy and paste? You guys can put some links on other cases or any other videos you guys want me to watch, view, or anything like that. Just put it in there if you guys like. Also, Discord, have your notifications on. YouTube, have your notifications on as well. Like the stream. I appreciate your guys' support. I also play video games as well. If you guys want to hang out, stop by. I stream on Twitch as well. Maybe I'll stream on Kick. We'll see. I don't know. But other than that, thanks for hanging out here, guys. Thank you so much for having my stream up. Thanks for lurking. Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for keeping me busy. I do really appreciate the chatters, though. Thank you for, just hanging out with me and stuff. And we chat and just chill and vibe around. But guys, I won't be what brand my glasses. I'm having issues with my glasses right now. I don't know if I recommend them. These are called Dita. DITA. I recommend waiting for the Christmas sale because that's what I got these all for 30% off for Christmas. But yeah, I'm looking for, if you guys have any recommendations for really lightweight glasses that are actually cheap, because these are really expensive. But I went to Japan and they had so many super cheap lightweight glasses that were $30-$40, and I should have bought them. But I was being really picky with the style. I should have just freaking bought them. But yeah, if you guys have any recommendations for super lightweight glasses that look good, let me know, because I don't want to spend another $300 to $400 for fucking glasses. It's fucking expensive. I see a pattern. Good chatting with you guys. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for chatting. I hope you guys I don't want to say I hope you guys had fun here today. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here, I guess. Yeah, because today we had some really heavy subjects. But if you guys missed it earlier, today's live stream, we talked about Kouri Richins. She wrote an email to the investigators. She probably didn't think this email was going to be public, but Eric Richins' family, Eric Richins is the victim, his family hired a lawyer, and the lawyer was like, you know what? Here's the email. Put it out on blast. Here you go, guys. Enjoy. And afterwards, we talked about piece of shit Chad, who, that one's a hard one to talk about. But we talked about Chad. He had a court appearance, and we watched the body cam video. Just seeing his demeanor is just so it's chilling, We didn't get to the Alexi Trevino stuff. Someone wanted to watch the something with that, but yeah, we haven't gotten to that one yet. But there is a footage of her. If you guys do look up on YouTube, it's where I watched the other YouTube footages of her. They uploaded one where it showed this security camera at the hospital. Security camera footage. Security camera footage of the hospital, and you can see her leave the bathroom. Yeah, no, it's just chilling because she just it looks like she just acts like nothing happened. Very nonchalantly. But yeah, it's up on their channel. I think it's still up there if you guys want to watch it. And then afterwards, we ended with the Alex Murdoch nonsense. Alex Murdoch and his lawyers. They might be sanctioned. We'll see. Gotta wait and hear back from the judge. And yeah, other than that, thank you so much for hanging out. And I will see you guys a different day. All right. I'm streaming Diablo right now on Twitch. So if you guys are into Diablo stuff, pop by and say hello. Probably play some Final Fantasy 16 when it comes out as well. Maybe some horror games. But yeah, other than that, thanks for hanging out, and I will see y'all later. I appreciate you guys being here on YouTube. Oh, by the way, there's a new vlog that's up. If you guys are interested in the Japan vlogs, feel free to watch it. We have a new vlog that's up from Kyoto. So if you're ever gonna go to Japan, go watch the Kyoto vibes, okay? You guys can figure out where to eat and where to sightsee and all that good stuff. But yeah, guys. All right, bye.